everybody. Welcome back to Vaccine Retroverse game. Fair warning, I'm a little bit out of it. I had a migraine today and just woke up. So for some pregame stuff, as you can obviously see, we don't have Morgan with us and we don't have Lluis. Lluis is on vacation, I think, but he should be back next time. Unfortunately, Morgan had some life stuff come up and had to step away from the campaign for a while. We're not sure when or if he'll be back, but obviously, Morgan, you know, we love you and we loved having you. So if you ever want to come back, there's always space for you here. And because we didn't want to make life easier on Scotty and change the layout, we have invited Callie to join our game. She'll be introduced in a bit. We're going to deal with some stuff from last session and then introduce her in. I think that's the only pregame announcements. Sweet. So a recap from last time. Last time we played, you guys had fought a dire animatronic horror in Wonder Park, a kids' amusement restaurant. Sammi, the solar lady, got the killing blow, setting the thing on fire, and then worked with Barkley on crowd control to deal with that. After investigating, you also found the seemingly lifeless corpse of a Cyblade, an android carrying a deadly and highly transmittable nanovirus that's corrupted. And you brought it back to the Professor Shockner, who also goes by the Programmer. And he warned you how dangerous these creatures could be. That they are a virus that infects humanoids, and when it does so, it links their brains to a Cyblade hive mind, and uses their memories and knowledge to grow stronger and more resilient. And that these are incredibly dangerous to have in the city and could infect a city within a few weeks' time. We did a handful of that between sessions. The group talked to, I don't know if we lost Daiyo or not. I think she's still here.
It looks like her camera fell.
Okay.
We'll give her a bit.
You guys talked some about the Cyblades, learned a little bit more about them. You wrote your reports on the incidents, and Sammi helped the Programmer craft a magical backpack of holding. Did any of you guys want to read part of your reports or add anything to them at all, or?
Is it digital or by hand?
You guys were on tablets.
Oh, okay.
Barkley.
So like the technology is advanced enough that you could write it in script and then it would translate it to like text, or you could literally type.
Okay, well, if it's possible, Sammi probably doodled in the margins.
Barkley is still writing on his in the tablet using a sunflower-themed stylus that Sammi let him borrow, and he's like, he does not stop until someone stops him. He looks like he's writing like Art in War or something, you know?
Excellent.
That is wonderful, and I'm so disappointed I have all of the flower pens that my mom made for me at work that are at work. They have like artificial flowers at the end so people don't steal all my pens.
And if any of you peer over, it's just him talking about himself and how awesome he is, pretty much. But he's taking Tolkien levels of like over detailing things that don't matter.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after a bit, you guys, the professor shows you to a handful of small offices. They're nothing spectacular. They're pretty Spartan. They basically have just desk, chair, and a lap computer. There are, of the 6 offices that he shows you, 3 of them have windows. But after you guys sort of finish, and then somebody goes, I assume, to find Barkley after about maybe 2 or 3 hours or so.
Time flies.
Would any of you guys go to find him, or would you wait for the professor to do so?
No, I'll go get him. And just be, hey, Bark.
Yes?
I think you're getting lost in the papers in here. I know I just realized it's digital, so redact that. I was like, you okay? You've been here for a while.
You notice him scroll with the stylus like he's scrolling upwards. He's like, it's not too bad. I only get like 10,000 word count.
Just like, I think you should stop. I think there's enough information about the whole thing.
Are you sure? I haven't even got to the Minotaur thing yet.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we got everything.
Okay. And he takes up a whole page with his own signature.
Oh.
And thank you for letting me borrow this. And he gives you back your stylus.
And it's just like, no, you can keep it. I know it's hard to write with fingers that can't conduct electricity, so you keep that.
He just uses his finger to use the tablet normally.
Does it work?
I mean, technology's advanced to a certain point that I assume they would find a way to make it work for.
Well, he's magic skeleton, so I don't
also
know.
that, but to make it work for Restless and for folks that have because the same issue would be an issue for people with prosthetics.
Yeah. Okay.
So you guys return to the professor's lab, and he's currently in the process of sketching. He has the table, the workbench that he has sort of transformed into a sort of holographic screen, and he's currently sketching some elaborate, confusing diagrams of what Sammi you now recognize is possibly some kind of device or magical item or something like that. But you have no idea what it is right now because it's sort of everywhere and it's stretched out. Like, instead of writing pages, he just took up the entire screen. He sees you guys come in. Yes, good. Well, you guys have done wonderfully, he says, scrolling through Bark's report. This is great. No, thank you. I'm gonna put those on the side there. So I assume all of you have gathered up at this point. He says, so unfortunately, I do have to inform you. It looks like your colleague, Mr. Sekhmet, has just alerted me that he's resigning for now, at least. He apparently doesn't think the job is a great fit for him. Something about lone wolf and all. No offense, Mr. Kuntag. Yeah. He says, I suggest you guys go home and get some sleep. I know that some of you got a little bit, mauled by the Minotaur thing. Go home, get some sleep. I'll see you in the morning. In the meantime, I'm going to make some calls and hopefully have a new team member for you guys to meet in the morning. He does make sure that you guys take the backpack of holding with you. And he also says, one more thing. And he reaches into a pocket and pulls out two little vials that have a sort of a black glittery potion in them. He says, and he hands them to Bark. He says, these are the Restless healing potions that Ruby talked to you about. They work just like a common healing potion, but they deal necrotic so that you can actually heal from them. Because nobody in the party knows how to inflict wounds, because that's not a thing Chris put in the PDF. Yeah. He says, if you guys want to come in tomorrow morning, that's perfectly fine as well, though I doubt that you'll have another full mission before like another 2 days or so.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. We'll hang out.
So I think at this time it'd probably be around, because you guys waited until after school let out to go to the
school.
Well, class, because you went to the amusement park thing after all of the kids would have gotten out of school, so that you could be there when kids were there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, made sense in context. Now that I think about it, it doesn't make as much sense when you're not thinking about it that way. So it's probably around probably pushing 7 or 8 now. You guys are probably getting a little hungry. So what do you want to do?
You guys want to have dinner in my house? I
Sure.
can make some food.
Yes, that sounds lovely.
Party?
Should I
Sure.
bring something?
I look at Bark and I'm like, no, it's a dinner.
I'll bring the nachos.
I swear to God, if he brings any more people, I'm gonna cry.
Oh,
I make a killer salsa.
I do hope that's figurative.
How about you let me worry about the food? You just bring your pretty little head and nothing else.
Nothing?
You can wear clothes.
Oh, okay.
All favors.
Okay. All right. He looks very disappointed and sad. And well, sad as a constantly grinning skeleton can.
His shoulders sag a little bit and his afro just floops.
It deflates a little bit. Yeah.
Sammy's still a little bitter about the cookies.
Oh.
Or should I
Don't you
say
mean she's a little salty?
Salty,
Little
yeah.
salty.
Yeah, there you go.
She feels like she's almost going to turn into a ghost. Because they were so salty. I know. Goes to Salt March.
I see where you're going with that.
Sorry,
I see
that was
where you're
bad.
going with
That was bad. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go then. Bye. Woo. And he's out of there. He jumps out the window.
I was just gonna ask if he jumps out of the window.
Metaphorically, of course, because we're on the 200
I was
something
gonna say,
floor.
because one, it's definitely safety glass. 2, you're really high up.
Wow,
I don't
man,
remember how high.
Wow, I was so high.
God damn it.
Up.
I walked into that. Yeah.
He falls down all the stairs. I'm kidding.
You guys-
Sam just kind of watches him go, and she's like, I don't know how. I don't know what he is. It confuses me. He confuses me.
I think he confuses us all.
Good. I'm not the only one.
I'm sorry, what is he again?
Are any of you following me on InstaSlam?
He's the Restless. One of the animate dead that were not created in the same manner.
Right. I try not to when I get new things, I try not to question them too much just because, but I haven't seen a whole lot of them. I was fairly sheltered growing up, so, I only saw a handful. So.
Well.
Are any of you following him on InstaSlam? Probably not.
Yeah. I think I probably would have joined up for everybody's social media first day.
Okay. You'll post something. Yeah. You'll post something eventually. I'll wait a bit, though.
Okay. So you guys hungry?
Famished. And not pizza, please.
Oh, please. You can't have. That pizza is not pizza.
I just remembered the pizza slime.
I wasn't aware that you were big into philosophy, Sammy. We'll have a lot of fun to talk about it at the party.
That's not philosophy. It's more that pizza tastes like cardboard and nothing like.
That is also fair.
I'm sorry you froze mid yell, so you just froze and nothing
Sorry. The internet is being wobbly, so I will make some delicious fried rice.
Ooh.
Okay.
That sounds lovely.
So Sammy, the moment that you get to your front door, you definitely you don't really hear him because he's ethereal. But you get the sense that Bork, your spirit guardian laser corgi, is aware that you are home. The sort of like mystical force that you feel the connection to the grid, you can sense his excitement. And basically, as soon as you open the door, he is doing the equivalent of zoomies around the room, except he's an ethereal glowy being. So it's basically just a blur of light going around your couch.
I didn't know it was called zoomies. That's so cute.
He looks like the Flash.
Basically, yeah.
I'll like open my arms to him and they're like,
Oh yeah, he pounces.
yay!
Does he like flow straight through her? It's like, whoop.
She's familiar enough with him that she sort of, there's this weird thing where most of the time he's ethereal, but with her she can feel more of his essence than others.
I just think it'd be funny if he like jumped and gravity didn't apply, so he just launched and he just went like straight through you.
Catch him on the way out.
Definitely, yeah. Just like first set of arms misses, so the second set grabs him.
She catches it and she like gives him lots of kisses and snuggles and she's like, how are you, buddy?
Oh, so happy, so happy. How was it? Did you stop the monster? Did you stop the corruption?
Yeah, we did the thing.
Oh, yay!
It was a scary robot thingy, but we beat it and we're fine, I think. I don't think that we're corrupted, so it's fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
He like sniffs all over you. I don't smell any. I mean, I can't normally smell corruption anyway, but you smell fine.
Well, good. Because get your apron on, Bork. We got food to make.
Yes. He is not helpful.
I love him.
Good Bork.
Crypto, I think, would just kind of follow Sammi since there wasn't a time like, oh, we'll meet up in like 2 hours, nothing like that. So he would just follow her and, just kind of.
She'll be like, oh, come in, and she'll give you like she'll be like, do you want anything to drink? I have soda and I have tea and I have coffee and she'll like list of like a billion.
Water would be fine.
Okay. And she'll like give you a glass. She'll be like, here you go.
Little sip. Just hold on to it for a little bit. Do you need any assistance cooking?
No, Bork's got it covered.
Bork?
In the kitchen, Bork's like staring at the spoon and trying to stir it, but he's ethereal, so he just keeps like trying to gnaw on the spoon, but nothing's there. Just
Oh my god.
he just does the laser breath at it, but it's ethereal, so nothing really happens.
I'm totally in love with this right now.
He's a properly trained chef. Don't even worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How are you doing?
I'm well. It was a little it's a little interesting, what we went through.
Yeah, it was kind of scary.
I think I blacked out there for a little bit there. I don't know. Something was off.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't remember a good few minutes towards that fight. I remember that animatronic creature changing, but then a few minutes into that, you blew it up and something happened. I don't know. It is what it is.
Oh, that's interesting.
How much time do you think it would have passed for everybody to take the elevator down and get home and then get to Sammy's place?
I mean, depending on how long you're taking, if probably like 30-40 minutes at most. And that's for the ones that live the furthest away. I believe there are a handful of you guys that live on the same floor.
Okay, that sounds about right. Barkley just posted a new InstaSlam post, and I know this is not how Instagram works because I don't use Instagram, so I don't even know. But he does like the Vine thing where it's like a bunch of rapid cuts of video, and it's like time to use the stairs, yeah, and it like cuts every single heh. So it's yeah, and it's just like all of a sudden he's just at the bottom. That was easy. And he like, it's like he just posted it now. Like he might have just got to the bottom of the stairs now.
Oh boy.
Think about it. It's 200 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
In 40 minutes, he's moving.
Yeah, you're feeling.
Do I need a con save?
Actually, yeah. Go ahead and do a con save, because I'm like, yeah, that's like level of exhaustion. I mean, 200 flights of stairs?
23.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, you're fine. You never skip leg day.
I mean,
Every day is leg day.
he is a pro basketball player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're very tired, but you're not at the level of like where you're taking mechanical game changing exhaustion levels.
It's like when you like run for a couple minutes, you just need to catch your breath. You're
Yeah, if you had visible muscles, they probably would be spasming though.
Oh. At the very end, he probably was like, hey, oh yeah, I don't need to breathe. And then it cuts off. He probably doesn't show up until an hour after everybody else. I have arrived with nachos. And you see he's bought a bag of nachos at the grocery store along with a gallon of milk.
Oh, nice. What?
Thank you.
Now we can get this party started. And he knocks off the cap of the milk like it's a big bottle of beer.
Please don't spill on my floor. This is a brand new floor.
You don't need to worry. And he goes to drink it, and you see it like go in, and there's like nothing on the bottom part of the jawbone. So it should have went like straight through onto your floor, but it disintegrates to ash and disappears.
Oh, okay. I like how both of your characters that happens to.
Yeah, didn't you roll that randomly on the table for Gruck?
No. I just thought that was
oh, okay.
the weirdest mechanic that we needed to test for them.
Okay, that's fair. About this point, Sammi, you get a text from Daiyo. Apparently, she and the cop that you guys were talking to, Rachel Henderson, are going out to a movie.
Oh, I sent her like, oh, wiki face. I was like, be safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah, she sends back probably a bunch of like reaction gifs that are sort of like somewhere between like maybe it's flirty, maybe it's friendly, I don't know, and also like yes, definitely winky face.
I love it. Get it, girl.
All right. There'll be a knock at the door, and Simon's going to have to wait for somebody to open it.
Bart already opens it.
All right.
If Sammi doesn't beat him to it.
Yeah. I don't know. He probably was standing at the door, so.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, Bork is just standing at the door, like at attention, like people.
He doesn't even check. He just opens the door. So since Simon's kind of timid, it's probably like a big shock as the door just swings open.
That's interesting. I would have thought Bork would like jump through the front door to meet whoever was coming.
Well, he's
intangible, right?
He is
also very intelligent.
Oh,
yes,
you housebroken.
And Sammi has probably trained him that that's very rude. So he's trying to restrain himself, and he's literally doing the like dog I saw something fascinating thing where he's like leaning forward. And just his entire body language is just leaning.
He's the best boy. I love it. All right. So you'll see Simon in the doorway. He's got two big platters in either hand, or we got one in each hand. And as he walks in, he says, I've got some cookies. Where do you want them?
Cookies in my mouth. And you just grab some.
Also, he's got a big gallon jug of something slung on his back,
Is
and
that also milk? Because Bark already brought some.
no, actually,
You can't help but
hang on a
notice Bark's already like swaying back and forth a little bit, and he seems a little nervous around this dog.
Oh boy.
Bark won't hurt you.
So
He's a very good boy.
I'm sure he is.
From behind Sammy, the eyes just glow, and it's like, as long as you don't hurt Sammy. But the
So-
tail's wagging.
boy.
The jawbone rattles a little bit.
Good boy.
Oh me. So he'll sit down. One of them is a tray of jam thumbprints with some sort of slightly red flavored jelly in the middle, and the other one looks like snickerdoodles.
I love snickerdoodles.
And in the jug, as he goes to set it down, you see it's kind of like a bright claret red. It looks like it might be port wine, but if you take a sniff of it, it smells like lemonade and a hint of something else.
What does that smell? No, really, what does that smell like?
It's prickly pear lemonade.
Oh,
Enjoy.
Sammy gets really excited because she does like trying other people's cooking, even though Barkley is very bad at it.
Yeah, so it's not anything specifically, like, particularly difficult about what you guys are making. So do you think your cooking would be impressive or not? Like, it's not like gourmet level. But-
No, because she's tired and it's been a long day, so she just makes a simple meal, but it is delicious.
I have a bag. Hopefully, this is an actual brand of Delgado corn chips.
I feel like Del Diablo corn chips would be the superior choice there.
That sounds like Takis.
Well, wouldn't Del Diablo be like, here, I have Arshowitz chips? And it's like, ooh,
I'm not sure about that one, because so Del Diablo is the place where all of because like it's not a particularly evil place. It's basically the place where for them it's a haven. I don't know. I have to think about that one.
I mean, what's the
There are a lot of folks. So for those who don't watch the other half of this, Del Diablo is the city that Kevin's game is run in, and that is a city that is completely overrun with corruption. It is a
Nice.
haven for any corrupted being to go there and be safe. They will not die from corruption while they're within the city's limits. And they are also a haven of acceptance from of minorities, of people that are suffering the really weird effects of corruption and whatnot. There are plenty of people in the rest of the world of Radix that look at Del Diablo as that sort of like cool, hip, weird place, sort of like the way that we look at like Vegas or
I was gonna say Vegas.
basically Vegas. Yeah, it's like it's not necessarily like the safest place and a good place to raise a family necessarily, but it's still kind of cool.
like Burning Man if it was a city. So Vegas.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Vegas, yeah.
very, very Burning Man with definitely everybody's high all the time.
The
Nice.
Delgado. I just thought of the Billy Mandy character Hostel Delgado. I was like, works.
Yeah. So you guys have a pretty relaxing meal. It's certainly a comfort after terrible pizza and the horrible stench of burning corrupted animatronic.
It has like that place probably had like that weird corn chip smell.
Definitely did.
No, Sammy's place always smells like cinnamon and cookies.
Oh yeah.
Barkley's already looking kind of a little bored, and he's like, "Are you sure I can't invite anybody else?"
Please, no.
Just a few of my friends.
No.
They're nice.
Really?
I have some board games if you want to play.
Bored? Like games you play when you're bored? Okay.
No, like games that you play on a board.
Like a skateboard?
No, like I'll show you, and she'll like open up her closet and like bring out whatever board game she has.
Caverns and Critters. What the heck is that? Looks really nerdy.
Caverns and Critters is the Dungeons and Dragons of Brendan's Stone.
Oh.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And Nigel may or may not be DMing a game for the rest of the game. It's like, oh, don't worry about that. That's my mom got that for me. Don't just she just shoves it back into the closet.
What you got there, Sammy?
What's Yanti and inclines?
And she'll bring out like an Uno set or something like that.
Show my how dumb I am. What's one in French? Is it just one?
Un.
Un. It's un instead of uno.
Yes.
It's un.
Yes.
It could be like Russian, Adian.
Oh, no, yeah, it would make it Russian because then the reversal card would make more sense.
Yeah. There you go. Thinking smart. Yeah, and I'll try to teach them how to play the game.
He learns surprisingly fast. I mean, he's got 14 intelligence, so
yeah.
He might act like a goofball, but he the second he realizes it's a game and he's learning the rules, he actually gets a little too competitive about it. He's like I keep forgetting her name, the blue android chick in the Avengers movies.
No, Nebula.
Oh, Nebula.
He's like her only in a sense of like that drive to win.
Right.
Why did I say Nova?
Nova, Nebula. They're. It's easy to kind of cross in starting ending space words.
Yeah, and that's always like that. But
I do it constantly.
So yeah, you guys have a pretty decent meal. It's relaxed. It's maybe a little boring and awkward for some of you because you guys are still getting to know each other. You've only known each other for like a week, but it's relatively relaxed and comfortable.
Sammy tries her very best to make it not awkward. Even though it's probably making it even more awkward. But
every time things get too awkward, Bork does something really adorable and goofy to try and break the tension.
Simon is actually kind of keen to get a second look in at that tabletop game that she has hastily stuffed in the closet. Because Simon happens to have himself proficiency in dice.
I just want to have proficiency in dice.
I like to think there's like an old school poster, and it's got this really nerdy kid with a bowl cut, and it's that old 80s D&D poster.
Definitely.
I think it's the Apogee that gives me proficiency with a tool or a gaming item. So it could have been cards, it could have been dice, it could have been, I don't know, bones or some shit. But I picked gaming dice, so he carries around a little 7 set wherever he goes in his satchel.
Sammy would just be like, "Oh well, a long time ago, my mom got me this book so I can play with my friends, and I really didn't have any friends, so I just kind of been gathering dust in my closet." So
he's gonna
haven't had any friends, and like Barkley barges in. You're not sure how, but his cheeks are flustered a little bit. And he's like, "No, you're my friend now. You should be all
your friends now." So, this is fascinating, though. I haven't seen this edition in print ever.
Yeah, well,
did you say you've never played? This has never been used?
I read it, but you know.
Oh, Sammy, that's criminal.
What is it? What? Let me see that. And he like
I like Barkley because he's like an old grandpa that's just like, what is this thing?
Back in my day, I had skin. Let's see.
I love it.
That's very good.
As Bart goes to take the handbook, Simon's whipping out his tablet and start looking up the SKU for the old book and see what it's going for now in the reselling market.
What's This doesn't make sense. There's nothing for the invisible stalker.
Oh fuck.
Flips to a page and it's like where all the monsters are in the book or whatever, and like where the picture should be, there's nothing.
That's an actual fucking thing in the second edition monster manual. They have all of this beautiful art for other ones, and then it's just an empty box for the invisible stalker. When you go to the credits, they have 3 different artists listed with the credit for that monster.
That's pretty good.
I feel like they took like a good long time and looked at each other in the eye and were like, we got it.
You've killed the invisible swordsman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
So we'll say that because you've now put it into canon that Simon recognizes this game and has played it. Bark, Crypto, and Sammy, if you would like to, you can go ahead and roll an intelligence check to see how quickly you can pick up character creation.
I mean, I've read this book, so would I have advantage on that?
I'll say you have advantage, yeah.
Okay.
You do have some familiarity with it. It's fine. He's drunk from the milk.
Oh, right. Sorry. Give me a second.
Oh, is he like a newcomer?
No,
Is he like a newcomer from fucking what was that sci-fi series in the 90s where there was like the 2 cops and one of them was a space alien?
I mean, he's a skeleton, and milk makes your bones stronger.
Shit, that's gonna drive me nuts now.
I got a 14.
Okay.
Yeah, 13.
Okay. It doesn't take too long. It's a relatively easy to pick up once you get the hang of it.
Can I play as that? And he points to a bear.
Don't see why not.
I shall.
Yeah, who's GMing this nonsense?
I shall
Go
be.
in your bliss, man.
I shall be Sir Barrington.
Yes.
Wait, I'll be back. And he like stumbles to get up, and then he wanders out of your apartment.
Someone go after him.
How far?
Can you check on him, please?
How far away is my apartment?
I don't recall. Did you decide that it was on the same floor or not?
I think so. Yeah.
Like
because Sammy picked me up
it's
first.
It's not particularly far.
Okay.
But
he comes back with a case. It's like almost suitcase size. And he unbuckles it, and he has a saxophone inside that's currently disassembled. And it says there's this thing called a music weaver class. Sir Barrington plays the saxophone because I play the saxophone.
Sammy just like is looking at him, doesn't know what to think of it. Maybe you should sit down for a moment. You seem like you've had a little too much milk.
Nonsense.
And she'll like very carefully like help him sit in a chair. And we'll give him like a cup of water.
How does that work with the Restless, I wonder?
I don't know. Does that help?
How does anything work? But anyway, so
Sammy doesn't know either, so she's just kind of guessing.
I mean, it would work for a person, so
I don't know what I was before I was now, but apparently I used to play the saxophone. Because I know how to play the saxophone. Any of you know how to music stuff?
I'm absolutely terrible with music.
No, my talent lended towards the visual arts more than the
Me
auditory.
too. I love to craft.
Well, I'm still practicing in my drawing, but I do like the occasional bonsai.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bonsai?
Yeah, it's tiny trees.
Oh, I thought it was a
Not,
shot.
not the one where you go jumping out at people.
Everybody doesn't know what that is somehow.
What?
That's a World War II Japanese thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
When they would run out of ammo, they would all scream bonsai and charge with their bayonets.
Huh.
It was a suicide run, so to speak.
Huh. For the massive amount of research I've recently done into World War II when starting at Cthulhu, I had not heard that one. Yeah, so you guys have a very eclectic evening. It's kind of all over the place. You get most of the way through character creation, and then Barkley just wanders off and comes back with a saxophone, and then you guys proceed to annoy the shit out of your neighbors for a little bit, attempting to play the saxophone while Bork accompanies with spectral howling.
Oh, is he assisting?
Yes. It first turned into that he was like yawning, and then he realized that everybody was like, "Oh, that's so cute, is he singing with you?" And then proceeded to actually start howling.
He's a good boy. Such a good boy.
I don't know. How's this, by the way? A
Yeah.
Tama tune. For those that wonder what the heck that noise was. Alright. I got a 17 on performance.
I don't think that Bork has any bonuses to charisma, so he got a 10. He got about average for an adorable corgi.
I think adorable corgis have above average charisma.
He gives a heckin' a woo.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's a good boy. I love having dogs in campaigns. It's the best.
It is the best.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I thought of it.
Sammi claps and it's beautiful, and she's very excited.
No, I can't do it. I was gonna do the saxophone guy song, but never mind.
So it's probably getting it's getting pretty close to about, say, 11 or midnight or so, as you guys are sort of flitting around from different activity to different activity.
Okay. Party montage, where it's just like random spots during the
Yeah.
party.
Definitely, yeah.
Party of 4.
Yeah, it's a nice night in.
Yeah. But like Barclays,
You know, if our explodey friend, it would have been a lot crazier. But
Barclays used to like a mansion packed with people, and you can barely move through it. You know, it's one of those.
Yeah.
And he, I like to think he's like talking to Crypto, and he's like, "Now you see, the trick to salsa is you add a little bit of vinegar to it."
no,
Yeah, really?
stop
Yeah.
it, no.
No, he's like, wait, no, it's not big enough. He can't hide from Sammi. Damn it. Never mind.
I'm sorry. Crypto's response of just like, sure, Bark. Beautiful.
He has no idea, so
Now,
it's like
most people put tomatoes in it, but I found it's a lot cooler if there was apples instead. I mean, they're both red and around the same shape, right? It shouldn't make much of a difference.
sure. It sounds about right. I mean, you can substitute pretty much anything for anything,
Exactly.
cooking wise. So I don't see why not.
And she's just like, all right, that's it.
Oh, that's perfect. That was perfect.
And she brings out like
Oh god.
materials to make salsa. And she's like, this is how you make salsa.
Oh boy. Hold
Nailed
on.
it.
Cue up the cooking lesson music. Do 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 do.
This is so realistic.
He's playing the saxophone version.
12:30 in the morning, making salsa from scratch.
Barkley sets up his phone, and it's recording you teaching how to do salsa.
And it's just like, and you have to chop it finely because nobody wants big pieces of chunky, stupid onion in their salsa. And yes, you have to use tomatoes because that's what makes it salsa.
Well,
Don't ever let me catch you doing apples in salsa again.
Hey, they're both technically fruit.
Simon, like very, very, very quietly, just raises one finger behind Barkley's head, and just doesn't say anything. But he wants so badly to just derail this into a conversation about salsa and what it really fucking means, because he needs to be taught. But damn it, he hates inaccuracies. It bugs him like hell. He wants to pick that nit so bad.
There was this one guy at a party I was at. He was like, "Oh, hey, you should put this into your salsa and make it really good." And he like showed me this really shriveled up little black pepper, and he called it Pepper X. And yeah, I didn't really notice the difference with it, but apparently a lot of people thought it was. They say it was too hot. It didn't feel hot. I don't know what they were talking about.
Well, you don't want to make it too spicy because then nobody can eat it unless they're you, who has no taste buds apparently.
Oh, there was a tiefling there too. They seemed fine with it.
Well, I think that there you have a hint.
Yeah.
I think it perhaps might be a racial sensitivity.
Oh,
It might just be so sensitive to the heat.
As Sammy, as you're about most of the way through making the salsa, Bark, you see your phone ding with a notification. It looks like all of you got it. It looks like the professor sent you an email saying that he thinks he found a new team member.
Oh, well,
I know.
Sammy, should we have her come over and meet the team since we're all assembled?
Yeah, it's only.
Let the professor-
It is.
I mean, it's like 1 in the
midnight.
morning.
It's like 1 or 2 in the morning at this point.
Yeah, the night is young.
He's going to look at his phone and he's going to look up at the clock and look back at the phone.
See,
Why the hell is he texting us at 2 in the morning?
that's also a good question. I don't
can't
think
imagine
Sammy,
he
you've
sleeps
known the
often.
professor for a while. He does not sleep for very long. He's the sort of person that like dozes off at his computer in 20-minute intervals throughout the day.
Barkley.
send us assignments in the middle of the night. It's very
He's like the sort of grandpa that only needs to sleep for like 4 hours, but he takes it and naps throughout the day.
Is he human?
He is human. He is a very elderly human.
Suffering 3 levels of exhaustion.
I mean, maybe that's why he's so weird.
Barkley has a reply all email. He says, "Okay, cool. Do they like salsa?" Send.
The professor
I don't know, do they?
responds, maybe, and it's literally just like the rate the question the shrug emoji.
Okay, and smiley emoji. Thumbs up
Simon-
emoji.
Simon pauses with one thumb over the phone. Sammy, do I dare ask him if she's there now?
Sammy like looks at her phone and realizes this is 1 in the morning, and she's
Is
just
she there now? Send.
I did not realize it was 1 in the morning.
Sorry,
No, of course not. I called her earlier.
she, he, or
Just
they.
woke up to
Sorry.
remind you guys.
Okay.
I think we should go to
Oh, but
bed.
she.
Huh?
At the end of the email, it's oh, but she.
Oh, but she?
Like
No,
an like an eggplant.
He or she.
Yeah.
Oh, or she.
He's clarifying
Oh,
that
but
your
she-
new team member is another woman.
Okay, I thought you were saying aubergine, and I was like, an eggplant. He said it's a dick.
That's an eggplant.
An
Aubergine is
yes.
aubergine is European.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's quite the opposite of a she, in some regards.
Yeah.
In emoji speak, that's true. And apparently the professor speaks in emojis, because that's a thing I just did to him.
New language? Okay, got it.
I mean, listen, if this is in the future, I assume that like emojis have been around for a while, so.
Yeah. Everybody is proficient in understanding emojis.
Okay.
I think we should go to bed and get up in the morning and go meet our new friend.
To drive that point home, you guys both hear, you all hear snoring from the couch. Bork, the spectral laser pup, who is currently half faced through the couch, snoring.
Oh, puppers. See, he has the right idea. I did not realize it was so late.
You just see from underneath one of the cushions the little tail wagging in his sleep.
Bless his little heart.
I love him so much.
Do
He
you
makes
have
my life so much brighter.
Do you have any haptic AR gloves so we can give him some pettings?
I'm good.
I can pet him.
And
she'll like pick him up from underneath the couch and just give him a good
He
pet.
just startles awake like,
Simon realizes he may have just nerded out a little too hard there.
See, we're magically connected. I can.
We are. He cuddles.
Oh.
Starts snoring again, leaning on her shoulder.
She'll just put him on her head.
Well, he's adorable.
He's my friend.
Oh well, it is getting on time. I think I must make my apologies and go on home. You can keep the cookies, but I want that plate back if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Just whenever you're finished with it.
Okay.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, Simon. I almost was about to say Rhymn, and then
What would that be equivalent to in this world? Good night, Shakespeare.
Yeah, right.
I mean, sort of, yeah. We did have that joke a while back when asking if anybody would remember Hertz. Hertz is basically Beethoven at this point. She is classical music.
Mm-hmm.
Like
she also saved the world.
Definitely a important part of musical history, but a long since past aspect. No offense to her.
The car trunk music isn't a thing anymore, I guess. Because you had that one album that was in the car trunk or whatever, in the trunk.
Yeah.
And it's like her
it is starting to Hertz's music is starting to make a comeback. Specifically because those albums were found. Part of the reason that a lot of music was lost was during the Machine Wars 100 years ago. A lot of the digital files on record of previous artistic works were sort of corrupted and destroyed. And it's due to physical records being found that sort of brought back brought Hertz's music back into the public eye.
That fucking got you such a hipster. Bless.
Yeah, nobody's entirely sure where they came from. About right around the end of the Machine Wars, a bunch of signed copies of Hertz's music started showing up all over the world.
I wonder why.
There's a crunch noise as Barkley takes one of the chips that he brought and uses it with the salsa. And he's like, it's okay, I guess. I'll see you in the morning.
She just looks so sad.
It could use a little vinegar. Oh, well.
I am not putting vinegar in this!
You should. He's already like going out. He's like outside in the hallway, and he just like his afro pokes through the doorway just a little bit. And he says, "You should have used apples," and he just keeps going.
Jesus.
I wanna. I
Just a hate.
She doesn't hate him. She's just like very confused by him.
Nothing to point this frustration at. Just frustration.
Yeah.
He's that character where you're just like, what? Why?
Anything else you guys would like to do before you take your long rest for the evening?
Barkley stares at the wall for about 2 hours before he takes his 4-hour rest, I guess.
You have the full internet at your fingertips. You have movies. You can answer fan mail.
Yeah, but sometimes you just want to stare at the wall for a couple hours, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Well, he's used to it. Restless
That's
kind of can't
Or
rest.
Restless.
Yeah.
No.
He's like Bender in a closet, you know? It's just whatever.
That's so sad.
Well, why? Bender doesn't care and Berkeley doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's a skeleton in a closet.
When Crypto goes home, before he, rests for the evening, he's gonna practice a little bit with like his arms, his extra arms, just summon them to get used to that feeling and just do that, and then practice some of the small bit of magic he can just to get more familiar with it, just because he knows that he needs more practice with that stuff because
Yeah, this is probably the first time that Crypto has been out in the field actually doing adventuring stuff and hasn't had a retinue of other De-Fraggers backing him up. So it's a little concerning. It's new and exciting and maybe a little scary.
Yeah. He's doing that, trying like push-ups with like his Justice De-Fragger arms. And then
Nice.
like after that like initial like 12 seconds of just trying, just claps, rubs his nose and just like stretches and then just goes to bed.
So you all wake in the morning extremely tired, except for Bark, who doesn't really notice because you only slept for 4 hours anyway.
I was trying to play Eye of the Tiger.
Sammy's tired, but she tries her very best to hide it. But like, if you look at her long enough, you can see that she's just kind of like.
Yeah, Sammy sort of like, she doesn't sleep through her alarm, but it goes off for a couple of seconds before she's like, okay, fine. And when you sort of like open your eyes and look, Bork is just sitting at the side of the bed staring at you, tail wagging.
Good morning.
Morning. You almost slept through your alarm. You stayed up too late. I slept. Also, I don't need sleep really. It just feels good.
Well, I have friends.
I know.
You know,
They're nice. I like them.
I like them too. It was kind of fun being part of a team. You know?
That's good. Yeah. You'll do good on a team.
You should just give them a hug.
Okay, walkies.
Yes.
Not a real dog,
Okay.
but I still want to see things.
You got it. Do you want to come with me to work today?
Can I?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yes.
Okay, let me put some clothes on.
He's like, I might have secured the neighbor a little bit. I was bored, so I peeked into their apartment, and apparently I really scared the old grandma lady that lives there.
Bork! Don't go into
Sorry.
those apartments.
I was bored.
This isn't back home. Not everybody knows about ghost
Well,
dogs.
I know that now after she started yelling about the ghost of her dead dog or something.
Oh,
It was kind of sweet and also kind of creepy. She's got like a little like pictures on the mantle.
oh. Well, we're just gonna have to go over there and apologize.
Okay. Later though,
Oh.
because you don't want to be late for work. And meeting your new partner.
Right. First, I gotta find a dress. Hold on. So go run.
Okay. Anything else the rest of you are doing before you head to work in the morning?
Barkley, he gets there super early if he can.
Definitely, yeah.
That's pretty much all he does.
Okay.
Crypto would go on a kind of a light walk, jog, trying to build up some of his cardio to help stay fit, but also like build up some, I don't know, constitution or something like that.
Mhm.
Like that, just
He
so
too
he's.
is going on walkies.
Wow.
I too was.
Sorry.
Yeah, you'll walk into those jokes so often.
If I was playing Uinari, when I would go on jogs, I would always, even though I'm not in a car, I'd be leaning my head sideways with the tongue sticking out on a jog.
It's like headphone and like phone or something for like the leash,
Yeah.
like just listening to music.
Hmm.
But
Simon,
yeah, no, go ahead. That's it.
Simon was when he comes out in the morning, actually going to try a little light free running. Sorry,
You're kind of fading in and out, Jesse.
Simon's going to be doing some free running.
Okay.
To get to work this morning.
Alrighty. When you guys all come in, you come into the professor's office, and he is currently surrounded by these books of all kinds. There's like these really ancient tomes that have like the old school leather, no pictures or anything, and then like textbooks and a bunch of like handwritten journals and whatnot, and like 2 different computers that he's got all sorted out and everything, and looks to be studying up on something. Callie, when do you think Lyra would arrive for work in the morning? Super early, right on time, or?
She would arrive super early. She gets up early every morning, so she wants to be more than on time. So, way early.
Okay. So we'll say, because you did not stay up until 2 in the morning the night before, you are the first to arrive. So, Barkley, when you come in the morning, you do see the professor sort of with all of this chaos in his lab, reading what looks like probably 5 different things at the same time. Who does he see elsewhere in the lab, Callie? If you want to describe your character.
Okay. Lyra is a rhythm Ray. I don't know how to.
I think it's Rye.
Yeah.
Rye. She's neon pink, but she has speckles of blue all over that are also neon. She has long blue hair, and she's wearing a kimono coat, over top of a tan shirt and black skinny jeans and heels. And she wears rings on every single one of her fingers. And one of the rings is a mood ring. And she's probably just like, hello.
Hello, you must be a new recruit.
Yes, I am Lyra. And she will hold her hand out to shake.
Well, I don't think I need introduction, but hello, Lyra.
Hello. And you are?
I love that none of the main characters.
I feel bad for Bark at this point.
Oh no, it's the best running joke though.
I love it.
He just so happens to be with a group of giant nerds, none of which know sports.
He actually, in character, does like smile and he does a slight nod and he's like, that's funny. And he just pats your shoulder and walks over to the chair. Then he's just like, he's on his phone.
You walk over to greet the professor, and he sort of like shakes your hand while reading. You met Miss Lyra. This is Barkley. He is our Holoknight. He's clever. He's good with people.
That's so nice.
I'd like to go with the term more of a quantum expert.
Oh, that's so nice for you.
He tilts his head slightly, not sure if you're being sarcastic or not.
You don't know.
Nope. And he won't read further into it. So what can you do?
Mainly I write poetry. Maybe you've heard of my book, Acid Rain on Sundays.
Oh, you're a writer as well.
Oh, are you a writer?
Yes.
What do you write?
Hands you a book with his face on it.
Oh.
Wait. Okay, I got actual name for it. Give me a second.
Holy shit, he just has this on him.
You all have seen it already.
I have one. Yeah, I have one too.
You see on the front, him spinning a basketball, looking ridiculously arrogant.
It's the Rise and Dunk by Barkley.
The Rise and the Dunk, an autobiography about a pretty cool dude.
Oh, are you giving this away for free?
Signs it. Yes.
Oh.
No need to thank me.
Oh my god.
Believe me, I won't.
You swear you can hear screaming inside the skull, but he doesn't show it.
I love her already.
The Gridmaster may have not typed something really funny. Anyway.
Oh my god, I just sat back down.
I'm in the chat and I'm just dying over this, and I'm like, I think I've just witnessed a murder of Barkley's ego.
I didn't know shadow magic was a thing in 5e.
Wisdom saving throw. Wait, let me check. Wisdom saving throw, that is a whopping 14. How am I feeling?
I mean, it's like demoralizing for a few seconds, but then you're like, what am I talking about? I'm fucking awesome. What does she know?
That's very in character, okay.
So the rest of you guys arrive not too long after, thankfully missing most of this incredibly awkward shade throwing. Meanwhile, the professor does not even notice. What? Why did you bring did you make like huevos rancheros for breakfast, or?
No, I made some salsa last night because somebody made me angry about it. So here you go.
Just looking at Bark.
Barkley now is just, casually, no one needs to be paying attention to him or anything. Doing Globetrotter moves. He got a 17 on his performance.
And you guys all do see your new associate in the room, Lyra.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Sammi.
Hello, I'm Lyra. And she hugs you.
She hugs you back. She has 4 arms. She is made for hugging.
Wait, how tall is Lyra?
She's 5'5".
How tall is Sammi?
Baby.
She tries to hug you.
She's 7'5".
You're 2 feet taller than her.
Yeah.
She's not deterred.
I like you.
I need art of this.
She's a big ol' 3 inches taller than Daiyo.
She's 2 inches shorter than me, so that'll be fun.
I like how there's like do 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 do, and then
yeah.
There's the tall and small gang now.
Bark's 6 foot even. If that matters. Probably
I think
doesn't.
Crypto's tall too, right?
I think hang on, let me check. I think 6'1".
Yeah, Lunari are pretty tall.
Yeah, 6'1".
Yeah, we're the Mile High Club, and these are small beans.
So after you guys sort of introduce yourselves, the professor sort of like reading and then looks up and realizes, oh, you're all here. Starts putting like sorting books out and be like, okay, got my place here. Okay, so how was your evening? Are you feeling better at all, or?
I made salsa.
That's good.
I don't know what to tell you. It was really fun. I mean, I had fun. I don't know, but I'm sorry.
It's fine. I did So I was going to let you guys have your day of relaxation. Unfortunately, this news article did come across my desk because somebody emailed it to me and I felt like it was kind of important and up your alley. So he actually pulls out his tablet and forwards emails the link to each of you so that you can read it. And for those curious, I wrote an actual article because I'm a giant fucking nerd. But the Cliff's Notes of it is talking about how within Undercity, the sort of underbelly, crime-ridden slum of Neo-Radami, the population of like refugees, homeless folk, monsters in the city are sort of declining. It seems like they're being preyed on by a killer. This reporter specifically interviewed a kid named Gigi Easy, a local teenage gamer in the area, and the kid talked about how whatever this creature or person is that's preying on people, it only seems to go after people who are alone. So he explains that he and his best friend had sort of set up a watch where, while one of them is sleeping, the other one is awake, so that neither of them are really asleep and can keep an eye on things and they're not alone. And at the end of the article, it mentions that, let's see if I can read parts of it. Some people are saying that the variation in wounds and modus operandi suggests that there might be two killers in Undercity, but police have declined to share a statement with the Grid Gazette, the name of the newspaper, about an ongoing investigation, but have recommended that citizens stay locked in their homes after dark and never leave home alone. And then there is a footnote at the bottom of the article that reads, 48 hours after this interview took place, Gigi's friend, the Gigi, the gentleman who was interviewed, his friend was found dead on a street corner, on a corner outside of their street. And the whereabouts of Gigi are currently unknown.
Does the article specify what kind of wounds are on the dead body at all?
It does not, no.
Okay.
He says, did you ask the professor that, or as you're skimming it, or?
Was there any kind of autopsy on this? That seems quite a vague thing for the newspaper to put out.
The professor's like, well, they definitely did an autopsy. They don't always report stuff like that because there's the worry that, one, if they reported it might be too grisly, and it also could incite copycat murders.
Simon is going to step out from behind Bach and make the note. You know, we do have ourselves a new acquaintance in the force. Maybe we could text Daiyo and have her ask the detective lady friend if she knows anything about this case.
I was just going to suggest that.
Oh, also, how do you do? And he's going to extend a hand to Lyra.
Oh, hello. And then she'll try to hug you. Will you accept my hug?
Oh, yes, and with enthusiasm and reciprocated. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm Simon.
Hello. And you? And she gestures to Crypto. Sorry.
You're muted, Crypt.
He's been standing there kind of arm crossed, just kind of taking in the information, and it was just kind of, hello, Crypto. Point to himself.
Hello. Lyra. She respects your space.
Well,
Do you want a hug?
For those in chat, I just put into chat, oh, poor Bark. She hugs everyone but him. And Scotty's
okay.
yeah, because he's kind of a sassy
I don't need a hug
Yeah.
or anything. It's
Oh,
fine.
She looks over at Bark and she does like that Dr. Evil, like,
Oh, I thought we were going Hogwarts, where it's like the Voldemort, like.
Oh.
Bark's like, and he just like hugs you back.
Okay.
What? What
the hell?
Ah!
Why do you just have that? Why do you just have that?
Full-size poster in my room.
Do you have like a little heart stickers next to it? Like a little shrine?
I also have Cedric Digger.
Do you
It
ship
was a
them?
little disturbing that she had to check for a second to see if there were stickers on the poster.
Do you ship them? Do you ship them? Are they like right next to each other?
Yeah. No. Well, I don't ship them, but they were next to each other. So in college, I had like a book of posters from like Harry Potter posters, and I found that one. I thought it was really awkward, so I took it to school with me, and I put it in the bathroom above the toilet. And my friend, like one at a time, my friends came in and started yelling, like, "Oh my god!" And then by the end of the school year, we just kept it there and started dressing him up for holidays and shit.
That's great. I'm trying to find something.
So it was a really stupid Voldemort in our dorm with like anime eyes.
No, you said he was in the bathroom?
Yes.
So would he be like Voldemort? There it was.
Oh, I just think it's hilarious. Anyway.
I definitely didn't almost die on my fried rice. It's fine.
I'm not apologizing.
Sorry, you guys can keep going. I'm looking for something.
He says, yeah, you met with a police officer yesterday? Was everything okay? Were you?
Yeah, it was in all of my reports. We talked to the police.
You mean Miss Henderson?
Police officers.
Detective Henderson, then.
Yeah.
Oh yes. No,
No.
she and Daiyo ended up spending the evening together. Which may be explaining why we don't see Daiyo here this morning.
That would probably explain it. Yes.
I think they would be an adorable couple.
Well, they could be in a couple over here.
What did I miss?
He says, the group is discussing the idea of contacting Detective Henderson for leads about the case.
Ah, okay. Just Harry Potter glasses I got on one of the early book releases.
I've got a Hufflepuff scarf around here somewhere.
Nice.
Yes! Yes! Coming correct with the Spectre specs.
I just happen to have them right here.
Ooh, Spectre specs. That's a new magic item.
Oh, wait. Hold on. We're doing all this. There we go.
Yay!
Well, mine are upstairs.
Okay.
Oh, Callie, I apologize. I really should have put in more effort today and put on my makeup like I usually do. This is
It's
the first.
all
No,
good.
it's
This is the first time I played Simon since I started playing him that I didn't actually dress up for the character. So I apologize.
no,
I'm a both.
it's a lot of work. It's
It's fun though. I enjoy it when I have the time.
So for reasons, I put Callie or Sammi and Lyra's heights into a calculator.
You're just like, when I hug you, you're like purely at booba level. Just all up in there.
Marshmallow hell.
it smells of sunshine, I guess.
It absolutely smells of sunshine.
Have y'all ever smelled sunflower perfume? That's out of character, by the way.
No.
No.
It's lovely.
They smell like sunflowers.
The actual sunflowers, yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle in Virginia grows them.
because we have like specialty sunflower oil at home, and it smells like sunflower seeds. It's like feels like summer.
That's nice.
So,
But she's very like big and warm and like super huggy.
so our job is to go investigate these murder cases.
Yeah. He says I can I'll have one of excuse me, sorry, I'm still dying from choking on rice. He says I'll have one of my drones.
Professor, do you want some tea?
That would be lovely, though. I think Ruby said she was going to be bringing me something, but she was supposed to be bringing me coffee like half an hour ago. So,
should somebody go check on her?
oh, she's fine. She's a big girl. It's probably just a big line. And he says, so I'll have one of my drones go do a zip around in Undercity and see if I can see any corruption spikes or anything like that. Yeah.
All right.
So he actually gets up and actually goes off to a separate room to start readying up one of these drones.
Sammy will like start looking into the murders, and then like every single one she'll be really upset. Like she'll make faces like, but she'll keep going anyway.
So looking online, you can't find anything with details about like the actual wounds sustained or anything. Mm-hmm. You see a couple where there's one that mentions a gnome salt addict that
a salt addict?
It's a kind of drug.
Oh, okay.
That says he was
I don't think Sammy knows what that is either, so she'll I was like, oh, she better watch his cholesterol. That's gonna be bad for him.
That says that he was killed by some sort of creature. That it was definitely not the work of man-made weapons. Several of the others, it seems like half of them say that it was foul play suspected by a weapon, and then others saying that it's definitely some kind of bestial creature that hurt them. You see a handful of people. There's not many, and the only stuff that mentions specific quotes about the wounds aren't from the police. They're from the people who found the body, from civilians that have the information. Mm-hmm. And the one handful that say there's one or two that say that when they found the body, there were several stab wounds in it. Most of them say that there were 5 stab wounds. And then the ones that aren't stab wounds, the ones that say they think it was more of a creature, mention bites, but they are very, very large, like much bigger than a humanoid style mouth could do. For those in the chat wondering, you have not gotten paid yet because you guys get paid weekly. Okay. Though if you ask for it in advance, the professor might be able to help you out with it. But
well, like perhaps we need to go down. Is there like a pattern to the killings? Like, is there like a specific order it's going in, or is it just like randomly?
It doesn't seem like there's so they're all within Undercity specifically. Mm-hmm. You'd have to like get a map and start pinning them on because you don't necessarily say where the body was found.
Okay.
Because these are a lot of like obituaries. Most of it, it's just talking about the person's life rather than the circumstances.
You doing okay?
Makes me glad I don't have lungs, I guess.
Yeah. We're talking about their life rather than the circumstances of their death. That's the sort of thing that would be on a police report.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah, you don't really have a map of.
Would be able to go around and see where exactly these happened, like where they would have had the chalk lines at?
The chalk lines would have probably been erased. Also, they don't really do chalk lines this far in the future.
You know what I mean, like
I don't know if they do chalk lines in our time.
Where specifically they got attacked. Could I figure
that's
out
something
where?
you'd either have to start asking people in Undercity that might have seen it, or go to the police and see if they might be able to help you with that one. Because just searching on news articles isn't going to give you that level of detail.
Okay, Barkley just goes to the Undercity police station and gets the public files that would show exactly what was written down on the recordings for where the body was at. Like, it was at the corner of this street and that street. Was it, like, at the top of a building? Was in somebody's apartment? I'm sure they all varied, but, like, he's wanting to see, like, if he can find a pattern between where in the Undercity. Is it, like, in a southern spot? Is it literally everywhere? Does it seem like you could triangulate a spot where the thing might be at, where it, like, stays during the day or something?
Are you heading to the precinct in Undercity, or just the nearest one to where you guys are?
The one in Undercity.
Okay.
Does he let anybody in on this idea?
Yeah, he would tell everybody that's where he's going.
Okay.
Well, what about we should talk to people there too. I'm sure that there's somebody that has seen the murders and can give us details, or we can go talk to the police officer that we know.
I have a great idea. Why don't half of us go to the police station and the other half talk to some people?
Yeah, I was thinking me and Bach can go down and hit the police station. We can look in the archives, and you and Crypto can take our newcomer here and hit the street. Show her how everything works.
Sure. I love talking to people.
Oh yeah.
That's fine to me.
Also, do we have any badges or anything?
Oh, the programmer is sort of like fiddling, like elbow deep in a drone right now. He's with a screwdriver. Oh, it's not really a thing I've got. I have
Because I mean, last time I think the police were gonna arrest us for what we were doing.
Yeah, what exactly is our provenance here?
Well, you see, it's one of those things where
we're superheroes, duh.
Are we mall cops? Yeah. I think we're mall cops.
No.
Where we can technically arrest people, but it's a citizen's arrest, so it doesn't really matter.
Sort of, yeah. So from what I've been told by my lawyers, you have the jurisdiction over the individuals who are corrupted, but you do not have permission to kill or detain any non-corrupted citizens. Obviously, don't do that. Do not do that.
Well, of course, that would be silly.
But I will work on attempting to get you badges. He's like, I'll be honest. I have a decent amount of money and sway in the government and whatnot, so your issues aren't necessarily going to be with getting arrested so much as more of just convincing law enforcement to work with you, because it is an issue with jurisdiction. They're going to think that they have it, but obviously you are more suited for this sort of thing, considering they're still turning their wheels, and now like 7 people are dead, and probably a lot more that they haven't quite identified yet, considering some of these wounds just look like stab wounds, apparently, from what you were saying, Sammi. He said, but I will, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go.
All right.
He actually texts Ruby, and a few minutes later she walks in and it looks like she brought coffee for everyone. which is part of the reason that took her so long.
Oh, thank you.
And she's like trying to carry the like 6 shit, I'm trying to remember how many there are you. 8 coffees, and also text him back and it's like, you want me to contact the lawyers for what, Professor? And they do get you before you guys leave a copies of the certification of the business name, which I have that written down. Let's see if I can find it again. But a certification that does give you some legal oversight on corrupted investigations within corruption incidents within the city.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll meet back where? Where do you guys want to meet? Where do you guys want to meet up? And when? I was thinking apparently all the attacks are at night, so maybe we should try to before nighttime meet up.
Yeah, I was thinking as soon as we're done in the police station, we should probably just find out where they are and round up.
Yeah, you can just text us.
All right. Let's go.
Let's go talk to some people. Let's go investigate some murder. Yay!
The company name is ACS, Anti-Corruption Services.
Nice. Lyra, I actually didn't get to ask this before. Do you play an instrument?
Oh, yes. I play the ukulele and also a guitar. And then she's probably got the ukulele on her backs, and it's like a neon orange ukulele that's see-through.
Yeah. Oh, Hertz would be proud.
Oh, a guitar. That's a classic.
I like to keep it classy.
I haven't heard a guitar in a really long time.
It's one of my favorite instruments.
Simon's gonna look over at that. Like, as I live and breathe. I didn't think I'd see something older than that game book from last night, but here we are.
I mean, instruments haven't changed that much since, like,
Not a ton, no.
Well,
No.
I mean, there was the big shift with the holophoner. But everybody just talks about playing it. Never seen
Yeah, most
Can I switch my instrument to that?
yes, because that's funny. And I didn't know that was a thing until just now, because we're making this world as we go.
That's the Futurama thing, right?
That's a Futurama reference.
Okay, yeah, definitely that.
So a lot of instruments are now, this is like holographic, digital, computerized stuff. But a lot of classical artists still swear by the physical things, because they say that it allows, one, it's a better sound, which is debatable. It depends on really who you're asking. The other one is they say it's actually easier to learn and to adjust because you feel the physical vibes off of the instrument, whereas a hologram would just absorb any of the movement.
it's like people that like records.
Yeah, it's basically the records versus digital music thing.
Also, learning to type on a touchscreen compared to typing with the keyboard. Just.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you
God damn it! I almost said Hertz. What the frick is wrong with me today? Sammi will say that we'll look at the craftsmanship though, and she'll appreciate how pretty it is. It's quite beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't know a lot about music, but I do like a good color scheme.
Oh, me as well.
What is happening here?
Poor Crypto. He's just like, these two are just dying of cute, and he's just like stoic.
Mark leans
Sammi will
over.
show her pictures of like the crafts that she made for her new apartment.
Barkley leans over and says, I believe this is the power of determination.
Like Simon's vision is gonna glaze over, and as they walk away down the hill, you're gonna see like the camera shifts, and the view of Lyra and Sammi geeking out at each other turns into this like vague, obscure kind of cloud of like hearts and smiley faces and bees, and we're not sure where the bees came from. And music notes, and like it's gonna be like animated in only 4 frames. And behind them, Crypto is just walking really violently behind them with his hands behind his back, going, yada yada.
What, he turns into JoJo?
It's older than JoJo, believe it or not.
Ah,
It was more of a Kyon reference. So we'll go to Haruhi Suzumiya for that one.
nice.
What a bunch of nerds you guys are.
So you guys can take the train down to Undercity, and as you get down there, so on the surface, transit is a bunch of different kinds. There are air taxis, there's sky boats, there's what they call the sphere trolleys, which are literally fucking like fishbowl spheres that roll through the city, but gives you like a private place to talk and converse and everything, but with all of the view around you.
Is this like Jurassic
Basically,
Jurassic
yeah,
World?
it's sort of like that, but you can fit a lot more people in them, and it doesn't have like the seatbelts and everything because you're not necessarily going to be bouncing all around because they have gravity dampeners inside or stabilizers.
And they're not built to be little murder balls that will just kill you.
Also that. But as you get further down to Undercity, the technology level of transit decreases rapidly to the point where the lowest levels of Undercity pretty much just relies on your basic subway and trains. And most of them are inner city trains, but there are a handful that actually go far out of the city to distant other cities. So this is where a lot of your standard immigration from the city for people that aren't like carrying huge shipments or those that are not extremely wealthy or important, those sort of people come in through the main subway lines in Undercity. So there's like a huge, basically massive sci-fi Grand Central stations for here.
And
you guys can, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, anytime we're in one of these subway trains, is there just like one I'm brain farting really bad. What's each section called again?
Oh, the car.
Yeah, and anytime, is there someone with a musical instrument in there? Maybe not like out.
Usually, there you actually really the further down that you get into Undercity, the train cars all throughout near Red Enemy are exceptionally unique. There are a handful. There's one that it's they call it the green car because it's literally like a moving garden inside this subway car, and a handful of other different. There's one that's all done in murals of historical figures. Other one that's is just covered in chalkboards and scribbled on by graffiti artists and children and people writing notes and things. As you get further to Undercity, the style changes. It's not as upscale, but it's still incredibly individualistic and artistic. There's a lot more graffiti. And definitely you can see a lot of it is probably not legally modified to the train cars, but they don't really bother changing them because that would just, the second they fix it, it's just going to get changed again. But you guys can find your way pretty easily to the 478th precinct in Undercity, which is their main precinct for the central of Undercity.
Okay.
And we can start there. When you guys walk in, there is a half wood elf sitting at the desk. She's got headphones in, and she is currently on a tablet drawing and just popping bubblegum, not even paying attention to you.
Ahem.
Oh, hi. Yeah. Hi. What do you need?
One, I didn't know I could clear my throat. I don't have. And two, yes, we hello, we're digital wardens, and he that's those papers. He had them like folded up so he could like put them in his pocket. So they're not wrinkled per se, but it's folded into multiple sections. We were looking into a few cases of some murders that have been happening in Undercity. We heard that it possibly has to deal with corruption. And we were just wondering if we could get some the public records on each of these cases.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should be able to help with that. Do you have like any names or anything specific about dates when these happened or anything? I will say that you guys do have the article with you. And the article did list a handful of the names.
Yes, Simon, will you do the honors?
Sorry, Simon's just gonna hand over a list of all the relevant information pertaining to the case here, just kind of like a condensed version of all the stuff that they had worked on previously.
She sort of looks at it and she says, "Oh, here, yeah, okay, you're investigating after the article, right? Yeah, okay. Give me 1 second, I'll pull the files. 1 second." And she gets up and disappears into the back of the room, and you actually there's like the door that opens that whooshes open. You can see there behind there are just file cabinets everywhere. It's extremely cramped. It's busy. You see a lot of people wandering around, and you see that she stops to talk to a seemingly humanoid man sitting at a desk and stalking him for a few minutes while you guys are basically just left waiting in the lobby that's completely silent, very simple, basic, very bland. You can tell this does not get the same sort of money that the upper scale precincts get. Like there is a vending machine in the corner, but it's like mostly empty and has like the out of order sign on it, except the out of order sign looks like it's been replaced like 4 times and they just kept pasting on top of the old one.
Out of curiosity, did she happen to lock that tablet when she set it down?
She did not.
Okay, I would like to make a perception check to see if I can just ascertain what she's got going on that tablet without having to actually move over and touch it.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. Let's see, what is my bonus to perception here? It is a 4. Okay. Does a 12 do me any good?
It looks like she is sketching what looks like profiles of different people. You see the one that she's currently working on is it's kind of hard to tell, but judging by the haircut and the jacket, it might be a profile picture, like a sketch of the guy that she went to talk to at the desk. Just sort of like looking through and looking at the different layers of stuff that she's working on. It looks like she is... Your dice are really loud, Jesse.
I'm really sorry about that.
It looks like she's practicing various different sketches of different people, whether it's just for practicing sketching or like if she wants to try and
become a profiler.
Yeah, something like that or what.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, while we're sitting here, what do you call a skeleton snake?
I don't know. What do you call a skeleton snake?
A rattler.
Oh no.
As you say, like you finish saying the joke, that guy that comes through, and you can now very clearly see that the person that the sketch is of this guy, walks through. He is a relaxed. At first, you thought he was humanoid because he had the long black hair that sort of like went down his neck and sort of obscured his ears. He is a Triton.
That seems a little fishy.
Dark blue skin with the sort of like finned ears at the top, and it has a robotic hand that he is using to crack the knuckles of his other hand. And when he comes through and hears a joke, he does start laughing really loudly, even while the woman behind him is like carrying a pile of files this big and is just rolling her eyes. He walks up to you, Barkley, and puts his hand up. Tevin Thorne. I'm the detective on the what have they been calling them? Let me find the thing.
The hash slinging
the Adrift is, I believe, what that reporter had been calling them.
Ah, well, I am Barkley.
You guys are. What was it again? He pulls out the paper that the woman had handed him.
Expert
Digital
warden.
Yes, we're the digital wardens. We represent a service that specializes in containment and elimination of corruption and corrupt sources.
Okay, well, come on into my office and let's talk then. And he just actually goes back through the door that he just walked out of, and the woman just very frustratedly turns around the big pile of files and goes back and drops them. She actually drops them on his chair and just turns around and walks away.
As we're walking in, Barkley will turn to Simon and say, "Wow, that was easier than I thought."
Well, yes, if you just present yourself well, then things tend to go easy for you.
I thought they mistake me for the famous skeleton detective Sherlock Bones.
Well, you're not wearing the right kind of hat.
As you're saying, talking about that was easy. The detective Thorne says, "Well, we did have a detective that vouched for you, Henderson."
Oh yes.
Yeah, she said something about you guys looking into it.
Lovely woman.
Oh, she's great.
Yes. So about these murders, we did have some questions about the precise locations, trying to determine whether there was any kind of overarching MO or geographical relationship to these assaults.
Well, let's see. And he types a few things into his computer and pulls up and flips the screen and pulls up a map where everything's pinpointed. And he looks at it and he says, "Well, they're obviously all in Undercity. It seems like they're sort of in a loop here around the central subway." Scotty's telling shitty skeleton jokes in the Zoom chat for those wondering why he's dying. He says it seems like they're all sort of focused around the subway, the main trains, though we haven't really found any indication for why that specifically.
Well, what kind of material evidence do you have, if any?
We've not found any. There's never a murder weapon left behind. The most we can find is, he sort of like looks around, and all of the other detectives are like not paying any attention. Most of them are incredibly distracted by what they're doing. There's like a group of them that are currently trying to restrain a very drunken, very disorderly orc that's just like throwing shit around and cursing obscenities constantly. There are like 3 officers sitting at one desk trying to sort out a dispute between 2 women that are sort of standing there arguing with each other. He says, well, let's see, honestly, for the ones with the stab wounds, there's nothing there. They must have taken the weapon with them.
Do you have any De-Fraggers? Have they sensed any layers of corruption within the local sites of the murders?
He's like, honestly, we don't get a lot of De-Fraggers down here. pretty much the only one that comes down on the regular is Henderson, and she's been kind of busy cleaning up the hazmat that you guys left up in a tech ward there.
Oh, make no mistake, we weren't responsible for that. We just happened to be there to stop the mess.
I saw on TV you guys certainly made a show.
Actually, that makes a point. I would like to know, did you ever have the employees brought in for questioning? One of them mentioned something about a game maker.
Oh, you'd have to talk to a different district for that, or a different precinct. We don't handle their cases down here. That for you guys would know, that is in a the city is split into different districts. That would be in Nano District, where you guys live and work from. You guys are in a very different district. This is the equivalent of like New York, or, whatever, different cities.
We're in a mega city, if I recall. So each district is probably
each district is basically a city.
Yeah, it would be
like
like
boroughs in New York.
Yeah,
it's disappointing to hear that the interdepartmental communication is not so great, but I suppose I could
it's
take
like
my weapon down there.
they're sort of there, but it would get to them a lot faster if you specifically went to them than waiting for us to write the email and for them to answer it. It would just be faster to contact them specifically. Or, since apparently one of your friends has Henderson's number.
Yes, I think that might be the best. Well, all right then. I don't think I have any further. Oh no, I do actually. What about DNA or forensic investigation? Any evidence of actual biological matter of any kind?
Not really. We haven't.
Any signs of anomalous matter, space rips?
We had no on that one. Is that a thing you guys encounter frequently?
tiny dried up purple worms.
Simon's going to look really cagey for a second and just say no.
Okay. Our one CSI guy did say something about seeing a strange substance. I can see if I can get it. It might be still collecting evidence. I mean, honestly, to me, it looked like some really fucked up dandruff. But he said that it looked more like a sand or ash that was compacted. I'm not entirely sure what he was talking about, but it definitely didn't look normal, and certainly not the sort of thing that you'd find here in the city. But
well, I would be very interested to see it.
We are in. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you're looking for a place to get away with crime and do so scot-free, Undercity is the place to be. And we have a lot of outsiders coming in and out. I mean, you can bring sand from. I mean, you can make your way all the way from the desert, the Lost Desert, to here in like a couple of hours these days. I mean, it could have just been brought in on somebody's shoes. Who knows?
Yes, but by that same token, if you could identify where that sand came from, you might have an idea of the identity of the.
I think he's been trying. I can see if I can get him. I think he's on call right now.
I think we should. We know of another a De-Fragger expert we could go to. So
okay.
Well, we'll do that. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure.
Unless
hopefully you can help. He's like, I'll be honest. These things have been piling up faster than we expected, and it's been about 4 days now, and we're looking at 7 dead. And we just found 2 more last night that we haven't announced that might be from that as well.
2 more?
2 more.
Where are
looking
they?
At 9 now.
They are also near the trains?
He points them out, and it looks like they are in the same general vicinity. It's not like on the track, but it's sort of like a loose oval around it.
Is there any pattern like it's slowly like the murders are going more and more west, or anything like that?
It looks like at first the first one started very close to where the train leaves the city, so like right on the edge of the city, and then continues inward. And by now, it's sort of started crisscrossing back and forth and asked a little more. It started to get a little bit more random now.
On those reports that showed where they were, like, did they die from, like, bite marks, or?
Yeah, have they finished the autopsy reports? Oh, do you still have them in your chill chest here, or have they gone down to the central morgue?
I think the newest one might still be in there. But the other two haven't made it in. They haven't been autopsied yet, so I can't let you look at them, unfortunately, until our guy gets a look at them. But he pulls them out, and there's some pretty gnarly photographs in there.
Oh my.
Simon's going to dive in with the enthusiasm of just like somebody who just got a really interesting bug collection put in front of him.
He separates them into piles and says, these are the ones with the lone stab wounds. It seems like some of them died from just blood loss. Though our guy had actually said that it looked like some of them had like a brain aneurysm, or like something in their brain went wrong. Like there was one that had a tumor that grew, another one had an aneurysm, another one, I think he said like his brain matter just started decaying. And the ones with the teeth marks, most of them just died from being mauled to death, though it looks like there was a lot more necrotic flesh on them than there probably should have been from how long people said they'd been lying there.
Was there any trace of radiation or some kind of bacteriological infection?
None that we could find. No.
Nothing to account for the accelerated necrosis.
No.
I understand some of those words.
You said Simon's not even looking up from the pictures at this point. He's just kind of flipping through them and just talking at the police officer, but not really to.
Berkeley has a 0 medicine.
Do I glean anything interesting or useful from the photographs of the autopsy?
Go ahead and roll a medicine check.
Okay.
Which ones are you focusing on? The ones with the stab wounds or the ones with bite wounds?
I'm gonna focus on the ones with the extra necrotic effect around the butt. And that's gonna be a 21 on my medicine check.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Looking at them, these are it's a not necessarily a large size creature, because most of the bites are in the lower section. I'm sorry, chorizo. I'm talking about bites on the lower section of a body. You're guessing the creature would be small. However, the actual size of the mouth is pretty massive, maybe about yay big or so. So definitely nothing humanoid. Definitely something monstrous or abyssal or monstrous or some such.
Can I make an insight or some sort of an intelligence check to see if I would recognize the bite pattern or something that might approximate that size or shape of a skull?
Arcana check? Depends on what the creature is.
Arcana would be the one.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, so my Arcana check is actually going to be a dirty 20.
Nice.
Okay. A handful of things. Let's see, the crypto shark or the hollow shark is the first one that comes to mind, considering you saw those bite wounds relatively recently. But those are a bit too big. Hobgoblins might be one. They're small size. They have the huge mouths. Though these don't really have the same sort of goblins don't usually have the necrotic damage sort of sense with it. Looking at it, it almost reminds you of like a lamprey like mouth, where it looks like the teeth went in and hooked, and whatever this thing was, it wasn't trying to tear chunks off, it was trying to latch on.
So it had more of a radial bite pattern than it did like an arc? Yeah.
Okay. It's definitely lamprey-like, and it looks like, because you did so well on your medicine check, it looks like this creature, it was less of bite and tear and more of latch on until it dies.
Interesting.
Can Can I try to roll some kind of intelligence on spites that rot flesh?
Sure. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Okay. It could be anything. I got 13.
Yeah, you're not 100% sure. There's a lot of different things it could be, especially in a place like this where they try not to talk about it, but it's pretty frequently that if a monster or a legal pet gets smuggled into the city, it's definitely coming through here. So it could just be something like that, or it could be something more sinister. You're not entirely sure.
Yeah, great.
Well,
Okay.
I think we got as much as we can here. I wonder how everybody else is doing on their
I think you're right. Yeah, we should.
So where, if anywhere specific, do you think you guys would be heading?
Probably
You-
to talk to like the victim. So like whoever they found on the report by name.
Well, you do know that that article was written about that kid GG Easy. It doesn't give like an address for him, but it does mention the street in the neighborhood that kid is from. So you could go there and maybe ask around, see if anybody knows them, knows anything about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way. It looks to be a
Oh, and on the way there, like since you said there was like a lot of trains and stuff, Sammi will point out every single one that she thinks is cool. She's like, "Oh, look at that one!" I don't think she's seen a lot of these kinds of trains, so she's
the one she gets most excited about is the one that has like a laser corgi on it, but it's clearly like giant sized and it has like a badass half dragon riding on the back of it.
I show Bork that one. I'm like, look
That's
at
amazing! And he like goes to chase after it for a few seconds and like is phasing through the crowd, and you're like, I can't keep up with you because I can't do that. And he's like, oh okay, and just trots back to you.
Wouldn't be easier if he had the same like thing as a familiar, but he does not.
So you guys make your way to this neighborhood that looks like to be the sort of akin to apartments that are all made from shipping containers. It's extremely basic. It's but it doesn't look like the worst neighborhood. You see there are kids playing outside. They've got it looks like they're playing baseball. They have like some of them have like actual bats, and then some of them just have like 2x4s that they're using. There's a small like garden plot that looks like it's like raised up on cinder blocks above the street traffic. And there is a woman like kneeling in the garden working and planting things. Off to one side, there's a group of people sitting in lawn chairs watching a movie that's like projected onto one of the sides of one of these shipping containers.
Sammi will start asking around if like if anybody will give her the time of day.
I'm sorry, Kevin just came down looking for the dog, and the dog just woke up and looked at him and then plopped his head back down. He's like, I hadn't seen him in a while. And Terry's been like sleeping in his bed for the last 3 hours.
Baby.
We'll say go ahead and give me an investigation check. Actually, I'll say investigation or persuasion, your choice.
Okay. Um, 17.
Oh, nice.
Persuasion.
Okay. So asking around. One of you go and ask the woman that's sort of kneeling in the garden, planting things. Yeah, let's see. She is a orc woman, who looks to be planting tomato plants. You're asking about who again now?
JJ, what was his name?
PG Easy.
JJ Easy.
Oh, yeah, that kid.
We're
I mean,
going around to make sure that all the that he's all right.
Well, I was out here the other day when he found Diva, his friend that was murdered by the whatever this thing is going around.
Did you see anything?
I heard him yelling, and I came out. I was about to water my plants, and I heard him yell, and I came out. She was already cold by the time we got there. She had been gone for a while. He had mentioned that most everybody's been doing it in the neighborhood, sleeping in shifts, taking a watch, making sure somebody in the house is awake all the time. Apparently, she had a hankering for some illicit things in the middle of the night and couldn't resist. And when he came out, he found her in that there alley. And you look over and it's sort of one of those, not like dark creepy, but like shadowed, where like you can see the street light. And down here, even though it's pretty early in the day, the sunlight just does not get very far down this far into the city. It's pretty dark to begin with. So most of the street lights are actually lit. But the alley that she's pointing to is sort of shadowed. She says, I haven't seen Gigi in pretty much since then. I think my wife mentioned that she saw him wandering around in down in the street docks, looking for signs of, I don't know what that poor idiot thing a kid is doing. I think he needs to try and fight it. God knows with what. I mean, like my little brother thinks that he's a pretty awesome gamer. He follows him and everything, but he's a gamer. He's not, I mean, he's not like you. And she points to Crypto, who's like decked out in the armor and the many swords, and she's like, I'm pretty sure at most he owns a shiv, maybe a baseball bat.
Don't worry, ma'am. We'll make sure that he doesn't get into too much trouble.
I would appreciate that. I mean, our neighborhood is getting smaller and smaller these days.
Yeah.
You guys be safe out there. Don't split up. It ain't safe to be alone, especially not after dark.
Mm.
Scotty's face.
You have a lovely day, ma'am.
You too. Is
also,
she sort
you're
of like, you guys want any tomatoes? I mean, you're helping out.
Oh, no, thank you. I wouldn't want to take away from your garden. It's beautiful, by the way.
Just think it's fine. I've got something of a green touch, and she snaps, and another little vine pops off, and little teeny tiny cherry tomato starts to sprout.
Urban druids, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I have some salsa. Would you like some?
You brought salsa with you on a murder investigation?
I don't know if it would be useful. Salsa is always helpful.
I think I'm gonna pass, but
I don't know. Things could get spicy.
God damn it, Scotty.
Well, you know what they say. You know what they say. Chips happen. That's for you. It's just for you, Scotty.
Oh.
She does actually laugh at that one.
Anyway, we got a dip.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I don't know. These jokes are getting a little watered down.
Oh.
Oh boy. I think they're a little cheesy, but it's okay.
Look, this is not your ordinary level of punning. This is advanced dorkness.
Oh man. At least they aren't getting grisly.
No!
Oh, God. Not the bear
no!
puns!
No!
Who am I talking to? Oh well.
Release me from this mortal coil.
I already tried that. Didn't work.
So was there any other information that you were specifically looking for? The three of you going around and talking to people?
I would ask if anybody else was murdered in this neighborhood, because we don't know where the murders took place. So I would ask if there's anybody in their friend group, if they have anything in common, if anybody has heard anybody else.
She says, well, I know there's a fisher down in down by the street docks that he's a weird one. He usually tells a lot of stories to begin with. Definitely took a lot of hallucinogenic drugs in it back in his day. But a couple days ago, he had his sister was attacked by the bitey killers, and he's been raving about seeing teeth in the darkness that swarm you, and I don't know. He's a weird one. He mentioned it. He had a bite mark, but I mean, he could have just pissed off his neighbor's dog. Who knows? But his brother did genuinely get attacked by something. But who knows whether what he saw was actually the killer or his own deranged mind making stuff up after he pissed off his neighbor's dog.
Was it his brother or his sister? Sorry.
I don't recall which I said, so we're gonna go with sister.
It was brother, I think.
We'll go with brother then. We'll write that down.
Okay. Do the two of you want to ask anything?
Do we know the location, like the general location of GG Easy's apartment? That's how we got here, but did we?
She says, I can show you where it is. It's that red one down there. And she points, you can actually see the it is currently chained up.
Okay.
Is there anyone
he
else?
at least took the time to lock up before he left. I don't know when he'll be back. You were saying, Lyra?
And is there anyone else that was close to GG Easy and his friend?
I mean, Diva and him were pretty much all they had. He took it hard when she was killed.
I can imagine. It's heartbreaking.
I mean, their closer neighbors might know more, but I mean, I was the first one that found him after Gigi did. He was the first one who found her because he woke up and realized she wasn't in and went looking for her. And I mean, I kind of wondered. I saw something moving in the shadows of that alley away from us when I first got there. I assumed it was rats, but I mean, it could have been something, but I don't know. But I don't know. It seems to me, and it's the theory going around the neighborhood, that there's two different killers here. There's the bitey thing, and the one that stabs. She got the stabs. She had a couple pretty sizable holes in her. They were about that big. I mean, I have a tiny bit of healing, but I wasn't able to do anything for her. She was already cold by the time we got there. But I can show you in. She's like, you didn't hear it from me, but I can probably break that lock if you want.
I definitely think it might be. I think we might be interested in seeing the inside of the building. Maybe his apartment may give us a clue of where he went,
Yeah,
or
sure.
if anything else. So we would appreciate that.
She reaches down into her sock and pulls out what is very clearly a thief's kit. And walks over, just like this is everyday life. Like this is totally normal. And picks the lock. It's relatively simple, but it looks like she takes a while with it. She's like, I'm sorry, I haven't done this in a while. I haven't used it in, I think, like a few months ago. My wife locked me out, but other than that, here we go. Okay. Well, that's shot, and she flicks one of her thieves' tools away. But it's open. I'll be honest. I don't really want to go in there. I knew those kids for a long time. I don't really want to intrude on them.
We understand.
Well, I hope you find him before he gets himself killed.
We'll do our best.
And she heads back to her garden. Looking in, it's pretty sparse. You can see there's just a line along, there's like a shelf along the wall that is just lined with candles and lanterns and jars of these like glowing worms that are mostly dead, that have like little tiny bits of greenery in there that's just now shriveled up and dying. And almost all of the several of the candles are still lit, and the lanterns are lit. It looks like he was trying to keep this place pretty well illuminated. There's a definitely like used and ratty couch leaning up against one wall, and like this relatively elaborate gaming setup for the income of the area, and a like queen bed shoved into the corner with just piled up with blankets all over the place. You remember reading in the article that the article had mentioned that when the person that was writing it was here, Diva was asleep in the bed, and Gigi was sitting on the couch playing games while talking to her. Looking around, it looks, there wasn't any kind of, like, there was no foul play here, though it does look like sort of, there are clothes all thrown around. It looks like he might have thrown a bunch of things into a bag to get ready to go quickly.
Might be good to look maybe for like a receipt or something on the lines on that. Maybe he bought a ticket to some place, train or whatever.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check then.
Okay. That's a shame. That'd be a 6 total.
Okay. Looking around, you don't really see anything. You can find a bunch of receipts, but it's mostly for like a handful of groceries. There's stuff for the printed receipts from his proceeds from his GoTube channel and different things like that. not. It looks like they don't do a lot. They don't keep a lot of paperwork around here. Yeah, not much signs. All three of you are currently in the apartment. Yeah. Okay. As you're sort of looking, you actually hang on. Which of you guys have a decent? Oh, I didn't write it down. Lyra, what is your passive perception?
I didn't write it down.
Just 10 plus whatever your perception bonus is.
Okay. 12.
Okay. Crypto, you hear off in the corner of like where the bed meets the wall, there is like maybe about a foot or so of space between it. You hear sounds like scraping of like claws on metal, and glance over expecting to see like a rat, and you see like this lumpy pile of like this flesh, almost looks like a bald head or like a naked mole rat or one of those hairless cats. But as soon as you see it, there's the scuttling of claws, and it's gone. It looks like there is a hole in the corner of the shipping container here that this creature was peeking through.
Did you guys see that?
You didn't until it scuttled away, and you heard something moving. But I mean, as far as you could tell, it just could have been Crypto knocking stuff over. Considering this place is kind of cramped, and Crypto's carrying like 6 weapons.
5 at the moment. Some sort of creature that was in this apartment that just ran out of a hole in the wall.
Looking now, you guys can see the hole. It's maybe about like yay big or so, about a foot all the way around.
You don't think somebody could have gone through here, right?
I don't know.
Should we go through the hole?
I don't.
Looks like the hole goes back out into the street, possibly to one of the alleys.
We can just go around.
I'm gonna kind of get on my hands and knees and kind of look through the hole. Just kind of stick my head through the hole and see if there's anything out right there. Maybe I can see it scurrying off someplace.
Go ahead and make a perception check at disadvantage because you do not have dark vision.
I'm just imagining Crypto getting down on his hands and knees, sticking his snout in the hole like Terry chasing after or something.
That's 100% a thing that Terry has done. Shoved his face into a random hole. I literally caught him stuffing his nose into a muffler the other day of a car.
True fact, Trezo almost yanked my arm into a rabbit warren that he found here. I was walking him along, like, there's a brush line, right, where like the grass stops and the scrub starts, and there's a rabbit warren in there, or a groundhog burrow or something. There's groundhogs around. Probably that. It's nice big hole.
I bet scares because we have snakes in the neighborhood. The dog does not care. He wants to investigate every hole.
Chorizo just lit down that thing so fast, I almost got my arm dislocated. He came back. It was perfectly fine.
What was your perception check, Crypto?
At disadvantage, it was a 16.
Oh shit! Nice. All right, let me. No, he's not really concerned with hiding. Yeah, you see, it's hard to tell because you're looking at the back of it. And you've never seen anything like this. It's this maybe like 2 foot tall blobby thing of pale mottled tan flesh and hide. The back sort of comes to like a pointed like tailbone, and you can see the like backwards facing feet and sharp claws. And when you're sort of you stick your head a little further in and you put your hand down to brace yourself, the creature sort of like ticks to the side and turns, and you see a row of a lot of teeth. Roll initiative, please.
Oh,
Oh no. Oh no, how terrible.
You're playing fucking taps.
Oh, it lost it. It went out. Can't hear it anymore.
Yeah, it's too high.
I just realized I was muted anyway on the feed.
Nice.
There you go. Okay, that was my.
That's
roll.
actually pretty good.
I may or may not have been practicing this whole time.
Lyra and Sammi, you are in the room, so you can go ahead and roll as well.
I got a 24.
Holy shit, nuggets.
He was ready for trouble.
Yeah. What about Crypto?
Crypto got a 9.
Okay, and Lyra?
7.
I'm sure they're bored out of their mind.
Okay. So Sammi, Crypto has his noggin in a hole. You saw him sort of tense from seeing something, but you don't know what he saw.
The tail poofs up like but
Oh, God.
slight growl of
Talking is a free action, so you can say, "Oh God, that's a lot of teeth," or "Oh, we've got something down here," or whatever you'd like.
help.
I guess
Famous
you'll
last
like
word.
slide him out. Like just grab him by the waist and just pull him out. And,
Yeah, you can do that.
and she'll
So we'll say that if you want to physically move him out of there on your own, that would be your action.
okay.
Okay.
She'll move him and she'll be like, get behind me.
Okay. So, anything else you're doing on your turn?
I mean, she doesn't have any other
Any
action.
bonus actions or anything? Okay. So on the creature's initiative, there is Sammi has dark vision, so you actually see these creatures, and they are these fleshy blobs of this mottled tan flesh, and these big bulbous fish eyes, and just teeth, just this swirling maw of teeth. And you're just like, ugh. Okay, they're staying there. Oh God, they're not staying there. And there is just this waddling as 2 or 3 of these things just swarm out of this hole towards you.
I'm imagining gremlins when you feed them after midnight. Is that correct?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, great.
And we'll say there are 2 that can get to you for right now. And they have pack tactics, so they have advantage to hit you.
Oh.
It didn't matter. That first guy rolled terribly. That's 2 4s.
Oh my God! Sammi is
Okay,
invincible.
Second one is a lot better. That's a 18 to hit you.
Yes.
Filler, a big ol' ouch. 11 piercing damage. And it clamps onto your thigh, and it just sinks its teeth in. You can actually feel its little hooked teeth go in and turn backwards.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah, it is unpleasant. It is attached to you, and moves whenever you move. That is its turn. And you see there were 2 more that are coming up the tunnel behind them, but they don't currently have the movement to get around quite to you yet. That's their turns. Crypto, you are up. There are 2 of these just wretched, horrible looking, fleshy, teethy monstrosities clinging to your new friend. What would you like to do?
He's gonna pull his long sword out. Hold it both
That's
hands.
actually shockingly close, Jesse, and absolutely horrifying.
I hate
There
it.
you go.
Thanks. I hate it.
Gross.
Can we show that on Twitch? That seems a little raunchy. Can you remove it, please?
No, in this environment, he'll pull a short sword, so it's not as. Ew.
I hate it.
Those look like fleshy like Mousers from like Ninja Turtles.
You know what they look like? They kind of put me in mind of like.
Kick them, they're footballs.
No, they look like.
It definitely looks like
They
Dick and
are-
Bull Rats,
they are
but like it's
Small size. They are not footballs. They are halfling size.
No, they're softball footballs. You know, like they
Yeah.
just make the ball bigger for some
depends
reason.
on how tall you are. Then they can be
That's
football
fair.
size.
That is fair. What are you doing, Crypto?
Just gonna pull a short sword just because we're kind of in a close space environment, so
Mhm.
just gonna use a short sword to try and chop the one that's currently on, I guess, slash the one that's attached to Sammi.
Okay, go for it.
Nice. That would be a total of 21.
That is a big ol' hit, yeah.
Okay, so short swords. And that would be 6 slashing damage. And while I'm at it, just to make sure this thing's dead, I'm going to expend 5 hit points to do a C-Frag strike.
Okay.
Let's need another.
Fancy.
Yep, so another d6 of force damage. Okay, so 6 slashing damage plus 4 force damage.
Okay. And so you hit it you stab it with the sword, and it just sort of like with this howling sound, and the teeth sort of sink in further, and Sammi just go, and the force strike goes off again. It's sort of like this punching. God damn it, Jesse!
Stop
This
showing
fucking
your
force
awful
behind it.
thing.
And it sort of lets out that same similar and goes silent, and it goes limp. Sammi, the teeth are still in there. You're gonna have to shake it loose, but it is not currently. It is not alive. It is no longer chewing on you.
Okay.
Are there any other enemy creatures within 10 feet?
There are. There is the second one that tried to also take a bite of Sammi, and then there are 2 more that are sort of now on top of the bed, seemingly going to lurch towards you and Lyra in a moment.
Okay. So C-Frag strike. Additionally, any creatures within 10 feet of the target must succeed a Dex save throw or take force damage equal to half the damage dealt to the primary target rounded down.
Okay.
Corrupted
Does it-
creatures have disadvantage.
Okay, so questions. Is it any creature?
It says enemy creatures.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. They need a dex save, is it?
Yes, and I'm guessing since it's my DC, that'll be a
Yeah.
12.
It doesn't matter. It got a 5 because of disadvantage. So it would be half of 4, right? So 2.
So 2 force damage.
The one on Sammi does sort of take a bit of the brunt of it. It sort of takes it and just sort of like rolls with it and shakes. Okay. It sort of takes it and just sort of like rolls with it and shakes. It definitely took a bit of a beating. Okay. That is your turn. Lyra, you're up. Yeah. If there's anything else you want to, unless there's anything else you want to do, Crypto.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So I don't really want to hurt anybody that I just met. So I'm just going to use the bravado buffer on Sammi. And she now has 20 temporary hit points.
Holy shit.
Nice.
I will never die.
Oh no! I took 10 damage. 20. Yeah, 20.
But it says while the spell is active, you must attack in either melee attacks, range attacks, or spell attacks. And if the affected creature takes the disengage option, retreats from combat, takes cover, attempts a saving throw for a ranged spell attack, uses non-offensive magic or any other non-offensive action, the spell ends and the remaining temporary hit points disappear.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta go aggro. That's your action. At the end of the round, the 2 remaining ones on the bed look around. Look to Lyra, considering she is the one sort of standing off to the side alone now, considering Crypto and Sammi are right next to each other. And the 2 of them are going to leap at her.
Yay.
Oh, 2 nat 20s, huh?
I'm gonna die on my first.
That is a.
Then you will be welcome to the Synthweaver club.
That is a 14 to hit Lyra.
That does not hit.
Oh, sweet. It sort of comes at you and you're expecting it and just sort of like kick it away, like, oh god. However, unfortunately, while kicking the first one away, you made that delicious calf prime biting material for the second one, who gets a 22 to chomp.
Okay.
That is 6 piercing damage as it chomps on, and this one latches on as well. That's the second one's turns. Sammi, top of the round, you are up. There is one of these creepy fleshy creatures on right next to you, and then 2 more that are attempting to swarm Lyra.
So if I were like to try to attack the one that's on Lyra, then I'm not gonna be able to make it, right? Because of attack of opportunity, right?
You could risk it, yeah.
Okay.
Or-
Can I get them all in a firebolt?
well, firebolt attacks one creature.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
I don't remember. I think you have Swift Stars. I don't recall if that
I
one's
do. Let me check. I'm trying to see
Yes.
because the Retroverse ones are
Yeah, they're all new spells.
yeah. It's one person.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna risk it and I'm gonna try to go hit the ones that are my friends.
Okay. So it is going to go ahead and take a chomp at you. You do notice that without, it seems like it's a little harder to balance itself without having the other one there to work with it. It sort of lunges at you and just like it tries to like jump up on the bed, except its feet do that thing where it catches the edge of it and doesn't go up to the top and just sort of scrambles and then gets up to the top but doesn't manage to jump onto you. So go ahead and make your attack at the one on at one of the ones on Lyra. Are you going for the one that's currently chomping?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Just gonna hit it with my stick, my magic stick. That's gonna be a 23.
That's a big ol' hit, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a gas powered stick?
No, it's a magic powered stick. Duh.
Not like Bravest Warriors, where he's like, yeah, gas powered stick. Whatever.
Oh wait, no, I'm using the other one. Oh shoot. 5. So I add my strength, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 7 points of damage.
Ouchie. Yeah, you basically baseball bat this thing or golf club it, and it's still hanging on. And Lyra, that hurt. You don't take extra damage for it, but it hurts like a bitch. That's anything else you're doing on your turn, Sammi?
I'm just like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm just trying to get the thing off.
Let's see. The little wretched monster number 1 is going to run across the bed and try and latch onto the person that already has a clinger on. Ouchie. That is 21 to hit you, Lyra. I'm sorry. It's what they do. That is 2 piercing damage as this one sort of jumps up and glomps onto like the fleshy part of your arm. And it's heavy, it's pulling, it is not pleasant. So 2 more points of damage to you. And at the start of its turn, you take an additional damage while it is attached. So you take 2 piercing damage and 2 necrotic damage as this thing starts like sucking the blood out of you and the life force from you.
Neat.
Well,
Crypto, you were up. I'm so sorry, guys. You split up. I inspired it because I'm a dick.
It only makes sense for investigation.
Yeah.
never split the party, even when you're investigating. Even though it makes logical sense, never split the party.
So Crypto's gonna grab a second short sword. So he's currently dual wielding short swords. And there are still 2 in front of him.
There are 3 of them. All 3 of them are now trying to swarm Lyra. 2 are actually on her, and one of them is sort of hopping around her feet trying to get a grip.
Okay. I'm gonna attack.
Actually, the one did run past you. I will say if you wanted to retroactively, you could try and take an attack of opportunity at that one, because it didn't really pay much attention to...
Okay. I can do that. I don't only have the 1 sword, so just... Well, that's a natural 17, so...
That's a hit, yeah.
So just... That would be a 6 slashing damage.
Okay.
So there's that one.
It does seem significantly hurt. It actually seems like these things are... now that they're out of that like dark little corner, it seems like they're a lot less tough. But that was your reaction attack, so if you want to go ahead and take your regular attacks now. There's the one that you had been wailing on before. That one looks pretty messed up. There's a big like fleshy gash down the side of it, and it's like insides are showing. It's this like slick, oily black mass inside rather than blood.
Okay. Yeah, let's go for that one. Okay, so bless you. So dominant hand would get a 15.
That hits.
Okay, and then offhand is a...
You may want to roll your damage for your first one first.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I think this doesn't have the dot next to it, so it's hard to tell if that's a 6 or a 9. Okay, so the first one hits. Nice. That would be 8 slashing damage.
Yeah, that one you just you sort of like see it's going for her and just put your sword through it and then use your elbow to pry it off and slam it against the wall because you're in very small quarters and it is squishy. It does not feel like it has a lot of bone mass. It is not pleasant, but it's dead.
Yay!
And then there's the one that's still attached to her leg, and that one also looks pretty injured from where Sammi had smashed it.
Okay. The offhand is my set of dice that has the dot not painted.
Oh, no.
So I lucked out, and it's the 9 that's not painted. So that's 9 plus 4, so 13.
That does not hit, unfortunately.
Oh. Okay.
Lyra, you can go ahead. And
It's still on, right?
yes, there are 2 of them. The one still on you, it's very sore looking. And the other one is sort of hopping around your feet trying to get to you.
Okay. I would like to stab the one that's on me with one of my daggers.
Go for
Nope.
it.
It's a 3.
Yeah, you're trying, and it's every time you get close, you lean over to stab toward it. It bites down even harder, and it hurts. The end of your turn, I will say, Bark and Simon, you guys have been communicating with each other because it's been a while. You guys have been texting back and forth, I'd assume. And they'd probably let you guys know where they are. So if you want to, you can roll initiative, and you guys will basically be heading toward this general area when next initiative starts. Is the remaining Wretched's turn. And this is the one that this is both of them. Yeah, both of those weapon ones. So the one that is nommed on he doesn't need to roll. He just does the damage.
Oh.
That is 5 necrotic damage, and then the second one is going to try and jump up and nom you. And this one, you're sort of like flailing, trying to kick the other one off of you, and you actually end up kicking this guy in the head instead, and it just sort of falls to the side and gets up in this creepy little clawed legs and snarls at you some more, but does not actually hit you this round.
I'm not doing too good.
So Simon got a 20 and Bark got a 16 for the rescue. Sammi, you are up. Both of these 2 are still attempting to mess up Lyra. There's still one that's attached. You can actually see where it's chewing on her. Some of her blood is starting to take on that dark black oozy coloration of these creatures, like these creatures have.
No,
but that one also has several. That's the one that took your staff to the side, and it's got this big like purple indentation where the head of your staff hit it. It doesn't look good.
I should really get some more attacks that do more than one person. Whatever.
Well, eventually you get multiple attacks, so you could hit 2 things.
Yeah.
That's true too, but also magic. Magic is fun.
So what are you doing?
She's gonna do a her mirror burst on it, on the one that's not damaged yet.
Okay. Go for it.
Trying to get away.
To keep it from bumping on.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for your attack.
Pretty good today. 22.
That's a big ol' hit, yeah.
Yep. And dice are 10 points of I think it does certain type of damage on. Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, you hit it, and it just, the fire just engulfs this thing for a second, and where before it had been that sort of like weirdly fleshy exterior is now just like blackened charcoal, and just as the sort of like lays down and just collapses, and it is not pleasant. The sort of like cracked blackened exterior starts to crackle and deflate some, and it is not pleasant. Anything else you're doing with your turn?
I'm gonna. Is it on her? Like.
Yeah, it is currently chewing on her leg. It is attached to her.
Okay. I'm going to try and like goad it, like
Okay.
with like a leg shake or whatever.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check. We'll say a disadvantage because you don't really know how to goad a creature like this, considering you've never seen anything like this horrible abomination.
Are you
Yeah.
Are you doing the old school Looney Tunes, like trying to get a hitchhiking a ride? You know.
That looks about right. I got a 7 and a 2.
It does not seem phased at all. It doesn't even realize you're there, really. Simon, you sort of hear this chaos. You actually just heard a heavy bang of something hitting the side of this shipping container.
Where am I relative to the shipping container? Am I just, like,
I will
walking
say
through
that
it?
just for convenience sake, if you run, you can get to the or that you can make it into the shipping container just to make life easier. And you sort of get to the threshold and see the three of these two, all three of them swarmed around, or both of your friends swarmed around the new friend Lyra, who is just trying to shake this hideous football-like, just massive beanbag size creature of just the sickly tan flesh and just teeth everywhere, trying to shake this thing off. You see three more in the room that look dead, one that is just a piece of charcoal, and the other two that are sort of like bleeding this black oozing blood. What do you want to do?
So there's 3 targets still up.
No, there's 3 that are dead. One is still currently attached to Lyra, and it looks like it's pretty messed up.
And it's the only one that's still alive?
Yes.
Okay, and I have used my movement already to get in there.
I'll say no, that you can use the rest of your movement to get to it. That was basically you, at the start of your turn, you walked into the front door.
He's not going to waste any time. He's just going to slide up to within about 10 feet, keeping his distance from this monstrosity. And as he moves, he's going to pull his chain out of his sack and get some momentum going, and he'll pull it around in an underhanded swing and try and hit that monstrosity off of her leg.
Okay.
And let's see. It's going to be a 19 to hit.
Okay. That is a hit, yeah.
All right, I'm going to pull my bonus action after image and do it again. And that's going to be a 22 to hit, so that hits as well. So, 4 still. 5 and 6. So 11 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, you basically see this thing gnawing on her and just instinctively react, run up and just punch this thing in the head as hard as you can. It doesn't really have much of a skull. You don't hear any cracking. You do hit something like hard, and you realize after the fact, when you feel the pinpricks of pain on your hand, you're pretty sure you just hit that row of teeth.
Ew.
But it does release, and after a moment or so, Lyra can sort of like very carefully extract the teeth from her leg and drop it. It is dead.
You all right?
Perfect.
Are you all right, Kat?
I'm
sorry.
No, it's fine.
Bark, as you're sort of getting to the front door and seeing this chaos, you see movement out of the corner of your eye, and that alleyway off to the side, which you don't know it, but you may find out if you ask your friends about it. That's the alleyway where Diva was found. You see this humanoid figure, sort of like gray face with this just open maw, just sort of staring.
Cool. It needs
And
a
back
wisdom.
up into the shadows.
It needs a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Cool. That is a 6.
It does this. As I cast that again, apparently. Calm down, phone. All right.
Hey, my after image. No.
As I cast Hillwhelm's Scream.
Okay.
Now, it's
what does that do?
choose one creature I can see within range, 60 feet. Pretty sure it's within that range. Creature must make a wisdom saving throw, taking 2d6 psychic damage, screaming and falling prone on a failed save, or taking half damage on a success and not falling prone, and not screaming.
Okay.
So, he tried to run away, so he screams and falls prone, so he stops moving immediately. And
Okay.
takes 9 psychic damage.
Yikes.
As Bark immediately is like running up towards him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stand over top of him for a potential opportunity attack if he gets up.
Okay, so he was 60 feet away from you, so you wouldn't be able to reach him right now.
Oh,
You'd be
he
able to reach
was
him next.
he was 60
Yeah, he
feet.
was at that limit basically, because he was a ways away, sort of watching you guys. He was at the limit of your spell.
Okay. I would use my full move then, so I'm 30 feet.
Okay. It goes after you and sort of like sits up straight up from prone and just looks at you, and then without the knees bending, just sort of rises up, and you see from the back of it where arms would be are these two arms that instead of going to hands, just into these long pointed claws, spider-like, and it sits up and stands up and shifts toward the shadows. And uses its action to attempt to vanish from your sight. Give me a second while I try and determine the bonus for that. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me, Bark.
I'm good at those. What do they get?
It got a 15.
I got an at 20, so 20.
Oh shit. You have an idea of where it's going. It looks like it's trying to scale this building in the darkness. And we will say that we will end there. As you see this terrifying skeletal, you get a clearer sight of it now. And fuck it, I have this shit. I'll show it to you.
It's climbing up the building?
It is climbing up the building, yeah.
Ooh, okay. Oh,
Gnarly.
I don't know. It might just need a map. It might be lost.
You know what?
Fuck off, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So next time we will start with perhaps something of a chase scene.
Oh boy.
Maybe not.
We'll see. Yeah. So I'm sorry that I almost killed your character first session, Callie. How so are you looking?
That was pretty
Single digits.
Don't worry, I have cure wounds. I picked it up last time because I am untouchable. So
I literally planned this. I'm like, okay, Sammy's gonna come to the rescue and they're gonna swarm her. And then Crypto's right there. I'm like, no, they don't do that. They're not gonna operate that way.
I know. I'm too.
I will say, yeah.
Those wretched little things.
God damn it,
Ew, yeah,
Scotty.
those things were
I am
Yeah.
truly the unbeatable.
I'm excited. These guys are absolutely terrifying, and they're the best, and I love them.
Yeah,
They're
those are pretty
so
gnarly.
creepy.
They're pretty gross.
Yikes.
They seem pretty sorrowful to me.
Any announcements before we head out for the evening?
How about our new player first?
Yeah, Callie, what do you got going on?
Sorry to put you on the stage there.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
You got an awesome Twitter and you post some really cool art.
Yeah.
It makes me cry because she likes to make me cry. She makes me cry.
That art, I'm pointing at the overlay, the one that's a little thumbnail, she drew that herself. She's amazing.
Thank
It is
you.
beautiful. I love that art of her.
My Twitter is at Capped Callie. I do art. I make Aya cry. I'm in Written in Stone and Reign of Misrule, so catch me on the flip side. I don't know why I said that.
Where is Written in Stone on again? What platform?
Castbox.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If I ever put
it should show up right away. At least it does
If I
for
ever
me.
put the new episodes up, it's getting really good. You guys think you're not like getting anywhere, but you are, and I'm really proud of you.
You might as well go.
What?
You might as well plug your stuff.
Okay. No Dungeon Academy this week because most of us are either not in the country or sad, and but Sean is running another game. What's it called? It's also Cyberpunk.
Shadowrun.
Yes, Shadowrun. He's running a Shadowrun game, so if you want to check that out, that's on Power Square RPG. And I think that's it. You can find me on Aya Golden on Twitter. That's pretty much what I've got going on.
Oh, you see that awesome art over here on the overlay? She drew that herself too. Hey!
I don't know where it is. I do the draws. I'm not going to be able to do any commissions for the next week or so because I'm leaving the country, but
safe travels.
Yay! I will be back next time.
Does Reese, aka Crypto, have any plugs?
No, nothing so far. You can always follow me at Repieces, I think is what it is. I forgot what my own Twitter handle is.
It's right below your.
It's
okay,
on the overlay.
It's that one. I think that's right.
Yeah, go follow us. We're awesome.
Yep.
Jesse, you got anything coming up?
Just Sunday morning if we're doing Waterdeep.
We should be, yeah. I believe Scotty just uploaded the Slayers episode the other day, so go check that out. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. That was a good fight. I died.
Yeah. Anna died for a hot second. That's the thing.
Spoilers.
We may or may not have triple leveled in a steampunk dieselpunk campaign. And fought a CR20 creature. That permakills, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Listen.
Just a little bit. It's cool. Our wizard NPC had wish. We made her to have that. Yeah, but
It's fine.
Tomorrow evening, Trackless Sea, 7 p.m. I'm excited. We're going to have Jeanette with us again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Woo! I'm excited.
A few of the fun creatures you saw tonight, you might see there.
Ooh, really?
I mean, you are in the where they're from.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Scotty. Stop telling people stuff. Lore, you don't know.
I'm sworn to sorrow, I guess. I don't know.
Fuck off, dude.
I remember nothing, and I know nothing.
Yeah, so tomorrow, Trackless Sea, 7 p.m. Sunday morning, Reign of Misrule, 10 a.m. Be there, be square.
Yep. One last one from
yes,
me, I
Scotty.
guess.
I'm an asshole, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. As everyone knows, this book just came out for Dungeons and Dragons. Really cool, what would make this even cooler? If we are at this fishing village, you could do some, I don't know, fishing. Well, lucky for you, out now in the DM's Guild, Zebediah's Guide to Fishing Equipment and Techniques is out. It is pay what you want, so you don't even have to pay anything for it. You can just put 0, but if you're feeling kind, you can put up maybe 99 cents or $1 or something. It's my very first supplement on the DM's Guild. I plan on many more under that aquatic theme.
Yay.
So I hope you all can see it and enjoy it and maybe use it in your games.
I'm excited.
I'll just say playing in it was a real fun time.
Mhm.
I always love a good sea adventure.
And a good turtle duck.
Absolutely. I love turtles. Oh, so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so see you guys we're 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's good for that. All right, and then we'll have Lluis back. I was like,
Just in time to fight the terrifying monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she can finally get up from bed.
Yeah, all right. Put some fucking pants on, will you? Or whatever.
She never wears pants. It doesn't really
she
matter.
doesn't.
That's why I said correction. But
Put
what
the
about
bathing suit
next?
on and let's go.
Is the corruption game on next Friday?
Yes.
Should be yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Team
know what
Dumpster Fire.
downstairs they're up to, but it's way worse than ours.
They literally call themselves Team Dumpster Fire.
Perfect. And what was the name that you picked out? Team Cool. Team Awesome Cool. Wait, what was it? That
Was it the Cool Dudes? Or no? It was
something like.
Team Awesome. I'll go back and
I
check out
don't
the pod.
recall.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have to check.
So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.